Hello, everyone. Welcome to a different tier list. We're not doing a Big Finish tier list. We're going all things Daleks. And once again, I am joined with Luke.
Hello, everyone.
So while we wait for a few people to join, what have we been up to? And then we'll get on to some Big Finish news. And then we'll go on to some questions. And then we'll do the good old Dalek design tier list. So, Luke, what have you been doing?
Well, one thing you could say is listening to the War Master Killing Time. Another way to put it is being traumatized by the War Master Killing Time, because I'm currently like about a quarter away through the third episode, the Nissa one, the Orphan. And yeah, certainly the second episode with Joe Grant. Gosh, that was a intense one to get through, and certainly a traumatizing one. Up there with the likes of the Skyman and the Persistence of Dreams, like that style, but even worse because it's Joe, it's sweet little Joe, who we all know and love, getting tormented by the War Master, and Derek Jacobi just loving every minute of it.
See, I'm about halfway through that story, so I'm starting to
gets
get into the trauma.
Yeah.
So after what you said about this, I'm really not looking forward to it.
Ooh, what did you make of the first episode?
I thought it was pretty much your standard War Master trying to manipulate a society. I thought.
I like the twist of Calantha though, and having him going up against someone in that.
And
I liked all their sit-down meal scenes. But a lot of the other stuff going on sort of bored me a bit sometimes. Like sometimes it was good, but like just the actual manipulating when they're away from each other. And I feel like there's quite a few different characters in play. It's hard to keep track of who's who and who's gaining what advantage and stuff. So I think it will hopefully benefit on relists, and especially like after the whole set, you get a bit more context. But yeah, for me, it took a while for me to start to really care about it. Maybe like 15 minutes in.
Probably took me about half an hour to click with it all, really.
Yeah, maybe even that. I don't know. Right. And it's certainly another one. It's a very similar set all in all to the Master of Callus, isn't it? It's going back to that style. Except I like how instead they've twisted it so that time it was sort of easy for the Master to manipulate everything. And it was very much him in the shadows for a lot of the set. But now, with the first episode at least, he is more like back into manipulating behind the scenes in the second and thirds. But very much the first episode, we see him more front and center trying to manipulate things and not always succeeding, and having a bit more trouble with him going up against Calantha. And you can see that it doesn't necessarily even infuriate him. He enjoys having a bit of competition for a change.
Well, it's like the last line in the set in the story. It's like sometimes you've got to lose a battle to win a war. So I think he's up for the challenge for it, really.
Yeah, he likes that, and I love that how they first meet at the start. And I mean, I won't go too much into that, but yeah, I think what he almost does could have changed everything, but almost like his arrogance bit him in the butt there.
I mean, I think it's trying to be a social commentary on transparency in the government, really. I think that it's very much looking at our government and going, yeah, it's a bit of a messed up government, really.
What's mad is I'm pretty sure this was pre-pandemic though, wasn't it? When they
recorded? Yeah, because it was announced way before, really. So
there we go. Yeah, December 3rd, December 2nd and 3rd and 9th and 10th, 2019.
So literally before the general election, really.
Yeah, or like actually they mentioned in one of the behind the scenes about that actually. I think it might be the first episode, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely the first episode, because that was on the podcast, wasn't it?
Yeah, they sort of mention how they've just had the election. And that was sort of like a mad throwback, sort of thinking, gosh, that was that long ago.
Gosh, before the world went upside down.
Yeah, and obviously it's mad that this story features a plague, and they sort of predicted that. And even the furniture redecorating of the guy who's meant to how much have they predicted with this set?
James Goss is ahead of its using the TARDIS to get this inside information.
Bloody hell, that's a weird thought. But yeah, War Master Killing Time. I mean, I can't say definitely pick it up because it could all go horribly wrong in the next episode and a half for me, 2 episodes and a half for Ben, but it's looking promising. And yeah, I think it's certainly been a very good time so far.
I mean, I've never been let down by a War Master box set, so I don't think this is going to let it down because of Joe and Nissa being involved. So I think that this is definitely going to be one of the contenders, really, to be in the top spot, really.
Yeah, I mean, it's my least favourite so far would be Rage of the Time Lords, I think, and this is certainly feeling better than that so far. And that, I mean, Rage of the Time Lords isn't even that bad. That's quite a solid set, but it's nowhere near the quality you expect of War Doctor, I suppose. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see how this falls in. I mean, we'll have to do a tier list of that, I guess.
I mean, that could be next week for or whatever.
There we go. Well, I mean, hopefully Ninth Doctor next week.
Yeah, fingers crossed, fingers crossed. I mean, speaking of Ninth Doctor, chat, we
Set
can
you up for
reveal
that.
We've got it. We've got the Ravages vinyl. It's finally here. After how many streams was going? Yeah, still no Ravages vinyl. It's here. It's wonderful. Bit of Big Finish history. It is a wonderful thing. So if you haven't picked it up, get it because it's limited to 1,000. So yeah, lovely to have.
It started going quite quickly actually. Because I think Tuesday they announced that they are ready to be shipping out, didn't they?
Yeah.
And then we both got ours today.
I think it took about three days. So,
yeah, that's not pretty good for that. Because I know my Dalek universe, I remember sitting there seeing loads of people having that on Twitter and thinking, mine's still not arrived yet.
I saw a load of people yesterday have it, and I was like, huh?
Yeah, we haven't been kept waiting too long at least.
But it's here. We've got it. Don't worry. Right, should we move on to a bit of news then, shall we?
Yeah, let's go for it.
So let's get the old banners up so we can go and look a bit high tech. So if we go news, so we've had quite a bit of news this week. And considering we're not doing a Big Finish fans, we've had quite a few Big Finish bits of news. So the first major bit of news is Jacoby versus Tennant, which is absolutely incredible. And
I thought you were going to say fantastic.
No, that's wrong doctor. Wrong doctor. So what do you make of this news?
I mean, it's exciting, isn't it? Just the prospect of the War Master going up against a different Doctor, because you've gone up against 8 twice now, and you've got the whole memory thing there of he's not really allowed to remember him and such. But here, there's no problems with that, because this is post-Utopia for Tennant, and it doesn't really matter if the War Master recognises the 10th Doctor, because he's Professor Yana the whole time throughout Utopia. So
the Chameleon Arch forgets.
Yeah, exactly. And now we also have the interesting twist of the Master not knowing who the Doctor is. They sort of hint at that. I'm not sure how much they'll play into that in the story. But yeah, that should be interesting. It's just new Tennant, isn't it? Why is it always so exciting? We've got so much, but
because he's like our childhood, it's just that excitement what I guess people would have with Tom Baker or Peter Davison. Really, I guess
we still get excited about them too, but
well, true, but I think this just hits differently, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's not just the excitement for a new set with him, it's the fact that we're getting still more of him and how much they've recorded in lockdown.
Yeah, and I think we're still going to get a few more Tennant announcements yet, because I swear Tennant must have just been locked in his cupboard for a good few months recording. It'd be interesting if Dalek Universe 3 ends on a bit of a cliffhanger, and the 10th Doctor's flung into the Time War after being in a post-Time War, pre-Time War world. So maybe that'd be quite a good little hint at the future of the 10th Doctor on Big Finish, maybe.
Yeah, that's true. That could be where this ties in. Yeah, but I mean, looking at the set, 4 different writers for a change, and also Tennant's only going to be in the last one, they've said. So do you think this could be more of an anthology set for the War Master rather than one long story?
I don't think they've done that, have they? Well, they've technically, maybe have they? I can't really remember.
I mean, the first War Master only did good, kind of, but certainly the last 3 stories do have an ongoing story.
Yeah, that is true. But yeah, I think an anthology would be nice, or maybe the third story sets up the fourth story, maybe.
Maybe, yeah. Depends
Much like Rage of a Time Lord did.
Yeah, but even then, Rage of the Time Lords, it was all sort of like one long mission for the Master, wasn't it?
I mean, the first 2 stories, you take it or leave it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a bit of a slow burner, that one. Still very excited for this. I think this is going to be a great celebration of, Utopia, because I think that was one thing what a common criticism people have of Utopia. Wouldn't it be great if Jacoby had an episode with Tennant? And this is our chance to have that. So this is the exciting bit.
And also more Tennant with the Doctor, with the Master as well, because that's something with John Sims' Master. The way Russell's written it is that it's very difficult to slot anything else in there, really. Like, there's no wiggle room for that. So now having this and having it be Derek Jacobi, I think that's wonderful.
Really is.
Question: since it's what's titled Self-Defense, do you think we're going to see some Venusian Aikido
from Tennant
or from Jacobi? Who knows?
I mean,
he's the star.
I'm down for it. Down for it. Whatever. I'm down for it. I'm really down for that. Oh gosh. And what's quite lovely as well, I think, was it the Heart of Darkness little trailer that it had Tennant in that, and we just didn't even think about it, and there he was playing in sight. So well done for Big Finish for not, leaking that, or anybody, sensing it out, really.
Yeah, because I think they said they've been sitting on this for a year now, and they're so happy to finally reveal it.
And we're so happy to find out about it.
Yeah. So not only that, we're getting an 8th box set as well in December next year.
I mean, to think there was a time where I was like, yeah, one War Master box set, that's all it should be. Now I'm like, give me more Jacobi.
Yeah, very true. And I think this is the first time we've had a box set announcement without any details about it.
Oh, for box set 8?
Yeah, because when they announced the Master of Callus, they announced that along with the other 3 and gave us the even episode titles and overall titles. But box set 8, we have nothing for, which I don't mind. Like, it's over a year away.
Yeah, it's not like we're desperate to find out about it, but yeah.
If anything, I think that might have hurt Killing Time a little bit, how far in advance we got the cover and the details and trailer for that.
It felt like an eternity, and so it feels strange having that box set now.
Yeah, it feels like it's almost past time that it should have come out, even though
it totally just happened. Yeah, it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy.
I mean, look, getting into the set now properly, I think I'm fine with that. But certainly before, like a week ago or so, when we were on the build up to it, I feel like my hype had sort of fizzled out already just because of how long it had been.
I think as well, August, there's so much more things to be. It's wrong to say be more excited about, but I think because we've known about this for so long, you're kind of more excited by the shiny new things like the early adventures, Philip Hinchcliffe and Eccleston, really.
Yeah. I suppose at least they got this, I say out of the way, that sounds bad, but I think it's nice to have this at the start at least.
I mean, you definitely want something a bit more fluffier after this box set.
Yeah, that's true.
So yeah, that's the big news, really. I guess.
You say that as if the end of the month means no more Big Finish for a while.
Well, when September's just looking just as busy.
Yeah, it really is. That's next news article.
Right, I'll load. What's the next news? Because I don't know. What news do you want to talk about?
Should we go 12th Doctor first?
Let's go 12th Doctor then. So this is coming out in February. It is the follow-on from the 12th Doctor Chronicles Volume 1, which I picked up. And this time they're going down the 11 Doctors Chronicle Volume 2 release, where there is no narration, and it is basically following sort of a traditional Big Finish format. It's one story told across 3 stories, I believe.
Yeah, it looks that way. It's
Seeing
almost
the
like
12th
what
Doctor. Oh, go on.
Almost like what the 12th Doctor had on TV with the Monk trilogy.
Yeah, that's true actually, because it's set series 10, 12th Doctor, so already it's going to be good 12th Doctor. And we've got a time agent companion who's played by, I think, Yaz's sister from the show.
Yeah, that's right.
It's a bit of a shame that they're not using Tina from Out of Time. I think that would have been quite cool.
Yeah, that would have been nice.
Are you picking this up?
Probably not. I mean, we'll see what the cover has to offer. But I haven't even looked into the news article that much, to be honest. I think I've just sort of not written off the Doctor Chronicles as such, because I'm sure it's very good. And from what I've heard, like trailers wise and stuff, and some stories seem quite interesting. But it's just that thing of so much money gets thrown at the finish where I can keep the little bits myself. I would like to, and so this has to be one of those things where it's probably just going to be trimmed off, really, just to save a bit of money. But who knows? Maybe I'll get wrapped up in it when we have a cover or trailer or stuff with more details. But for the moment, I think I'm fine without it. But you, on the other hand,
yeah, I did pick up the first 12 Doctor Chronicles box set, which I think was a pretty good release actually. And I think listening to Jacob Dudman's 12th Doctor from the little tease from this, he's definitely improved. So I'm definitely excited to see how that works in a full cast capacity, really. So I'm excited for that. So
we've kind of already got a taste of it with that short trip.
Regeneration.
Yeah, because that was full cast.
Well, full cast is a short trip can get. Yeah, so yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, no narration.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's true. And that was a little 25-minute short trip.
Yeah.
I definitely would like to do a video talking about 12th Doctor on Big Finish because it's a bit of a wild ride.
Yeah, it does. I think that's the other thing for me. This feels like it's just something to fill the gap. Like it's almost as if they don't want to put their 110% best stories forward because they want to save those for Peter. And so these are sort of like, they're good stories, but they're keeping the best
You're
stuff.
digging yourself a hole
here.
Yeah. I get what you mean. Yeah, I totally get.
I mean, it felt the same thing with 9th Doctor Chronicles.
And 10th Doctor, really. I think 10th Doctor is such a weird one.
That's even weirder because we already had Tennant by that point, although not as often as we do now with all the recordings. But yeah, also, something else I mentioned, I read the Vortex article for Volume 2 of the 11th Doctor out next month. And the writer of the 3rd story, I can't remember her name. I'm just going to have a check before I say that. I'm pretty sure it was the writer for the 3rd story. Oh, no, his name, sorry, Christopher Cooper. Okay. I'm assuming it was, or it might have been the writer for the last story, Tessa North. One of the writers for the set basically said that Big Finish said to them, would you like to do a 10th Doctor story or an 11th Doctor story? They obviously chose the 11th Doctor story and got into this set. So I'm just wondering, does that mean a 10th Doctor Chronicles set is also in the works somewhere? Or would they have got the opportunity to write for Tennant and turn that down?
Maybe. We just have to wait and see, really.
Yeah. Because it certainly seems like the focus is shifting to just 11th and 12th Doctor for the moment.
Which makes sense, really.
Yeah. Like with Chris and Tennant in full force at the moment, you don't really need any of these other sets.
It's kind of a bit offensive. It's like, yeah, we don't appreciate you, Chris and David, so we're going to get somebody to fill in a bit more of a gap.
Yeah, and it's like I mean, we are going to be getting a new series audio novel at some point, so that maybe you'll feel that's kind of gap instead, but it depends which Doctor they choose.
We'll just have to wait and see on that.
Yeah, because the interviews for Scourge of the Cybermen do mention that Adric's up next with the Fourth Doctor, and after that they're shifting to a more recent Doctor. So
we'll just have to wait and see for that announcement. I'm sure we'll cover that on a Big Finish Fans in the near future once we get the announcement.
Yeah.
So what other news have we got?
River Song.
There we go. Is it gonna load? Don't think the cover art's there.
No, I think you have to go to its own page. Because I think that's actually last week's article. They've been doing articles quite steadily about this, haven't they?
Yeah, it's sort of each week we've got a bit more information. There we go.
Yeah, because I think week before last it was announced. Last week they said Third Doctor's in it. This week they give us the trailer and
cover. And the trailer.
Yeah.
I have to say this is one of my favourite covers. I love it.
Oh, yeah,
I love the new format. I think that it's a really good one. I love the sort of orangey, fiery Pertwee Vortex, and Bessie on a cover, always a winner for me. So, and the trailer as well. I'm excited for this. I really am.
Unit Helicopter too. Don't forget that.
Oh well, that's not as exciting as Bessie. So.
Oh no, obviously not. But yeah, I'm glad they switched up the cover style, because the old style was great, but we've had it for 8 sets now, and so it is sort of getting to the point where they all blur into one in a way. So this will help them feel more individual and such. And also, they do love their Pertwee vortexes, don't they? Like, I'm pretty sure his is the only one that really pops up on covers regularly.
I mean, it's the most iconic.
Yeah. The only other one I can think of is Out of Time 1, because that did have both both Toms and Tennant's. But yeah, I mean, also it's a good choice of outfit for River as well. It does sort of fit in with that season 7 vibe.
Oh yeah, I guess. Well, the outfits from the astronaut two-parter, so that was 1969. So only a year out, or unit dating. It could be the 1980s, 70s. Take your pick, really.
And I mean, they did film a lot of season 7 in 69, so
there we go.
That's our excuse.
Keep it. There we go.
Animate. What a joy to hear Tim and Alex opposite each other in the trailer. I mean, we've heard a little bit of it before, but now we get a full-on story of it.
And we get Tim doing his classic Welsh minor voice.
Yeah.
Which is great.
Oh, missed that since Black Thursday.
Yeah, he's back in the mines, his old Tim. Yeah, very excited. This is definitely a release I am certainly picking up, and hopefully can be in the top 5, because I've got high expectations for this.
Yeah, just got to be careful not to hype it up too much now.
I mean, with a cover like that, it's got to be good.
It hypes itself up, doesn't it?
Oh, it sells itself. And a lovely Pertwee from Spear from space. So you know what? It's all good.
Now we have even more River to talk about.
Good segue. Good segue. Yeah. Now I've just got to find the page.
Where's that Dalek Universe 3 hiding?
There we go. 3 times a Dalek in Dalek Universe.
Yeah.
There we go. So we've had the trailer for this. I have to say, it was a pretty decent trailer.
Yeah, I really did enjoy that one. I think it's one of those rare times Big Finish does a good audio trailer, because I think that's something they often... Just because I feel like the audio medium is hard to edit into a trailer. Because you need the context.
Like sounds, yeah.
Yeah, you need context for a lot of scenes as to what's going on. And the trailers can't really be long enough to give you that context. But yeah, I think it does work really well. And you get that excitement of Tennant crossing swords with Davros.
And yeah, I mean, Terry Malloy is on fire recently, isn't he? From the Time War 4 box set. That was some of the best Terry's performance work. So I can only assume that he's going to be absolutely brilliant with Tennant.
I love those teasers of the moments with what's happened to you in the years since. And yeah, this older Doctor meeting this younger Davros. That's quite exciting. And I think they've always had quite a personal connection, haven't they? Weirdly, like it's very much the Doctor and the Master as the main adversaries, but there's something about Davros that's almost trumps the Master in some ways.
Definitely that.
Yeah, and so it was just an exciting trailer. And also, the music choice for it feels very right for like 2008, but also mixed in with the excitement of like the Terry Nation style that they're going for.
I mean, it's quite bold and bombastic, isn't it? Really. So it fits quite well.
Yeah, very excited to see how this set ends.
I'm quite excited for it because then we can just binge listen to it all and be like, right, this is Dalek Universe. Let's see what it's like as a whole series instead of just having little free chunks of it. So yeah, I think that if it continues the level that Dalek Universe has been, then I think we're in for a good treat to finish it.
Yeah, that's very true.
I think that's all the news, isn't it?
Yeah, and then we can segue from Daleks to Daleks.
Yes, we can.
Should we check the chat first, actually?
Yes, let's do the chat. Let us do the chat.
Yeah, people commenting have to ruin my segue there.
But there we go. Let's have a good old look.
We appreciate you, really. Don't worry.
We love you. We like a good active chat. It makes us feel like we're not just an echo chamber talking to nobody. Right. So this will be intriguing. Hopefully, this is going to be intriguing for us because we don't know each other's opinion on Dalek design. So this is going to be cool and an experience. Stylish one. Can't wait for. Can't wait. The Dalek Time Strategist is my personal favorite design. It is a good design. I do like the Time Strategist Dalek, don't we, Luke?
Yes, we do. But well, we'll get on to that when I introduce.
Benjamin James Miller. I hope Matt Smith does join Big Finish one day. I think we all do.
Yeah, I think hopefully happens, but it won't be for a while now. And I think we should just be happy that we're getting so much of Tennant and we've got Eccleston there as well.
We've definitely got stuff to occupy us. So
yeah. Space the exciting announcements out.
Yeah, you're just kind of waiting for the next big announcement, really, aren't you? To make you go, oh wow, that's exciting.
Yeah.
I guess Tennant and Jacoby's that announcement recently.
Yeah, that's true. I forget because once we get Matt Smith, I mean, assuming he comes before Capaldi or Capaldi, whichever one comes first.
But
maybe Whittaker.
Well, yeah, I always thought Whittaker would be pretty quick joining Big Finish.
Yeah, but like whenever we get whatever one's next, we've got to be careful not to fall into the trap of immediately then waiting for the next one. Like, I think at the moment we've only just got Eccleston. Really, let's try and focus on the glory that is Eccleston being back, rather than just getting over that and looking forwards. I mean, it is definitely hard. I know the struggle, but. Yeah, I think keep the limelight on Eccleston for now.
It's sort of like a drug in a way because you're after your next fix of big
news. Yeah, very much so.
But there we go. All are great, but I love the 70s and 80s ones the best. I mean, you just have to wait and see what we think of the 70s and 80s Daleks very soon. Big Finish just re-released all of the old Blake 7 stories in a new box set. If they can do that with Blake 7, then surely it's only a matter of time before they do something similar with the main range, with 8 in the main range.
Yeah, stylish one. Do you mean like the 8th Doctor main range stories with like Charlie, or 8's range himself with the Lucy Miller adventures?
I mean, I think if it's main range, then I'm sure they could do like a package of download stories of 8 and Charlie, maybe 5th Doctor Perry and Ehrman, maybe do like a collected. But they do bundles already for that, so I don't know. We'll have to wait and see.
But I could see it maybe being more likely with the 8th Doctor though to have the 8th Doctor and Lucy Adventures bundled together, because that's sort of more comparable in style to that, isn't it?
Yeah, because it's a very much like a new series format, isn't it? That range. Most surprising and most disappointing Big Finish release of 2020. I would say most surprising, mainly because I got it on a whim. 12th Doctor Chronicles for me.
Well, yeah, 2020. Sorry, but I was thinking 2021. Yeah.
Because I'd say you've got a great story with Danny Pink, what feels like a lost Series 8 story. It expands on 12 and Danny Pink's dynamic. So I feel like it is a missing piece of the Series 8 jigsaw. So I think that, that was a great sort of surprising release for me. And it's got a character in that box set, what I believe is appearing in Series 13. That's all I say on that. Well, it's a historical figure. If that's not really a spoiler, but there we go.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Yeah,
yeah. I remember the rumors. Who knows?
What about you? What was a surprising release for you from last year?
I'm just trying to remember what was 2020. So long.
That's quite a lot.
I'm just sort of having a flick through because there's a lot of good ones, but so far nothing's jumped out as wow that. Oh, I know actually.
Okay, all right.
Displaced, the Seventh Doctor Hex and Ace story. Wasn't a big fan of flying. Is it just the Flying Dutchman? Yeah, that is the whole story title. I was thinking there was something else to it. But
Flying French Dutchman or Jagon like
who knows? Flying Dutchman, wasn't the biggest fan of that. It was a double bill, but yeah, Displaced really blew me away. I really did love that story. And yeah, wasn't expected to enjoy it quite as much as I did. It's like this nice little domestic piece. It's very much just the three characters, really, some creepy goings on in this remote home. Yeah, brilliant stuff.
Most disappointing for me, I'd probably say Time Apart. As a massive Fifth Doctor Big Finish fan, it seemed a little bit of a sad anthology for Davison. So yeah, I'd probably say Time Apart was maybe a release I was excited for, and then it didn't quite live up to my expectation of it. Really, as a big fan of the Fifth Doctor and Mark stuff. How about yourself?
Yeah, I don't know, I'm still just like flicking through, seeing what I can remember. I mean, yeah, Time Apart certainly got there, and I don't think I was as disappointed as you were. Luckily. I think maybe I'll just go with Time Apart, actually.
There we go.
Keep it simple. Otherwise, we'll be here all night with me just trying to rack my brain as to what was in 2020.
There you go. Ravages Vinyl got lost in a time war and has only just fallen through the time vortex and into laps of waiting custom. Yeah, it might as well have been in the time war, especially Luke's, because Luke's arrived a bit damaged.
Or actually, another Davison one that was kind of disappointing. Sorry, we're going back after saying move on. Shadow of the Daleks. It had some great strengths, but the way it ended certainly didn't do it for me. So yeah, there we go.
I'd agree with that as well, actually.
Yeah.
I'll go.
Yeah, because most disappointed doesn't have to be the worst story, just the story that we expected better of.
Because we always expect highly of Davison.
Very true.
If you did a War Master tier list, would you include Cyber Reality? I'd guess so. Yeah, I'd say.
Yeah, we can. Well, I haven't listened, but you have, so we can.
So I get to pick where it goes.
Yeah. Have you? Yeah, you have listened to the Leela story in Time War Gallifrey.
That's the only Gallifrey Time War box that I got because I was like, got to get it for Jacoby.
Yeah. I think about. Has Jacoby popped up anywhere else, or was it only those two outside of his own range? Oh wait, Day of the Master. And River, yeah.
So it's a fair bit of Jacoby to talk about, so that'd be quite cool.
Yeah.
To do. What else we got in the chat? Warmaster and the 10th Doctor only shared one look, and now we're finally getting a whole box. I'm also glad Warmaster is still doing 4-part long box sets instead of the new standard 3 parts. Yeah, that is true. Because unless the future box sets after box set 8 go into the 3-part format, maybe we'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah, I mean, I could see that happening, but it's all weird with things like Unit being one of the ones that's sticking with 4, and not just 4, but 4-part box sets as this one long Nemesis arc. That's a bit of a shock.
Yeah, I'm still on the fence about picking that one up. I'll have to wait and see.
Come on. Tom Baker, come on, and Harry as well.
Oh, see, they've got you.
Yeah,
They pull on you there, going, "It's Tom Baker, get it." Just saw somebody on Twitter theorize the Dewan Master regenerated into the War Master, only for somebody to tell them about Voluminat and the child War Master from the comics. They seem shocked. Yeah, maybe they're just not used to the expanded media. Big Finish don't seem to be using the picture of Jacoby and Tent as a cover. It makes me think that it's a placeholder. Yeah, I think that's a placeholder image for the set.
They did the same thing with what's Hearts of Darkness as well. They had like a placeholder image of Jacoby and McGann.
Yeah, I think it was the Rage of Time will cover probably.
Yeah.
What else we got? Big Finish can't be bothered waiting for a license to make 13th Doctor stories, and already securing the cast makes me think that we'll eventually see a story featuring the Khan family later on. Yeah, that is true actually, since they've got Yaz's sister in the 12th Doctor Chronicles.
Yeah.
Coming soon from Big Finish Productions, Doctor Who, the Dr. Ogron Chronicles.
Ooh. They're going to be adventures. They're not going to be chronicles.
We've got to be full cast for Dr. Ogron. I will have nothing else. Regeneration Possible didn't have narration. I want to get it now. From Luke's memory, I think it didn't have narration.
No, because they were very much advertised as a full cast thing of sorts.
There we go.
The full cast only being one person, but it is very much just the 10th and 11th Doctor in a room talking for half an hour with some other weird stuff going on.
That's a weird short trip.
But yeah. And I mean, it's only £3. You're not wasting too much.
Yeah, it's not breaking the bank.
Nah.
I'm guessing we'll see a few more 12th Doctor Chronicle box sets, given how Capaldi has said that he hasn't enjoyed working on audio and recently said that he doesn't want to go back to the role. Yeah, which is a shame unless Big Finish can tempt him with the lunches and go, Peter, these lunches are divine.
No, with the audio comment, it's very much more about how underfunded the BBC has of it. But yeah, certainly, like I was saying earlier, we should be happy with Eccleston, and got to remember there was once a time where we thought he'd never come back. So
I think Eccleston was the most unlikely.
Yeah, it's just a case of giving Peter more time, and also not making it seem like he has to, because I think there are some fans who will more think that, you're obliged to give this to Doctor Who fans and keep giving us content for your Doctor. But yeah, I mean, he shouldn't have to.
It's just kind of expected from our perspective going, you have to. I think Tennant said that now I've regenerated, I'm going to the big, going to like the Doctor Who graveyard. What's Big Finish? Because I remember. Oh, go on.
Yeah, I wonder how aware of Big Finish Capaldi is. It's like a big fan, because I was Tennant being quite a big fan too, even worked for them and such.
Funny you mentioned that, because I was at one of the Big Finish days, and I think they were talking about Peter, and I think Peter was in the Lady Killers back in 2011, 2012, and they give Peter the first series of the 4th Doctor Adventures as a gift, because they knew he was a fan. So he's definitely aware of Big Finish.
Yeah.
If Big Finish do announce more 9th Doctor Chronicles, I can imagine Eccleston's reaction to seeing the 9th Doctor Chronicles. Something like, hey, what's going on around here then?
Oh, no.
Which would be great. Andrej, I hope I'm saying that right. Hello, what do you think about fan hate about recasts? I think it's a little bit sad, really, because I think the more you close yourself off about recast, then the more you're limiting the stories that you can enjoy and experience. And things like the 3rd Doctor Adventures Volume 7, it's exploring a whole new territory for Big Finish, and I think that's the exciting thing, that we can now with recast explore areas of Doctor Who what Big Finish haven't been able to touch because of logistical reasons. So it's a little bit sad when you see the bombardment of hate, because people are so close-minded not to go, okay, I'm going to take a chance and listen to it.
Yeah. I think even then, there's people who really hate it and will just hate on it for the fact that it's recast. You don't have to give it a chance necessarily, because, Big Finish is a lot of money. We understand this. Save money where you can. If recasts are not to your personal tastes, then fair enough. There is no reason for you to have to buy them at all. And so it's just that thing of when people get very throw a lot of bile at the actors specifically, and Big Finish saying they have no class or no it's done in poor taste or something, and they're just insulting them purely for the fact that it's recast. It's like, put the energy to better use. And if you weren't going to listen to it anyway, why are you hating on the fact that it exists? Like, just there's so much other Big Finish you can enjoy out there with all the other full cast productions with the original cast still there. Some of them don't quite sound how they used to back in the day. Like, a lot of people's voices have aged. Peter Davison's, Janet Fielding's. I mean, some have been blessed and haven't aged today, but very much, that is sort of the minority at the moment. So, you know, it's just what's there for you.
Life.
Yeah, what's there for you to enjoy. You are welcome to enjoy that, but don't take away or try to take away enjoyment of something else for other people just because you don't like recasts.
I mean, there's plenty of Big Finish to catch up on. There's a whole back catalogue, so
exactly,
it's not like you spoil by not having any of it.
Yeah, and like, don't think you're the superior fan because you dislike recasts and you think you have more integrity or something. That's not how it works.
You have a bigger brain.
Similar to anyone who thinks the opposite. Don't think just because you accept recasts you are better than anyone who doesn't, but just, you know, respect people's personal tastes.
Yeah,
and respect that these actors put a lot into it, because Tim Treloar has really been studying hard the Third Doctor's voice, getting all those mannerisms right. They put a lot into these performances. They're not just doing some little impression for an hour and then going home and forgetting about it all. There is a lot of research behind it that a lot of these actors do, and it is incredible the amount of work they put in. So don't just dismiss that just because it's a recast.
And it's been a gradual change as well. It's not like something what's happened overnight where Big Finish right, we're recasting. It's been a slow process to get to the point where we're at now, and I feel like Big Finish are comfortable to say, yeah, we're going to do this, which is great.
It's just all the eras have pretty much opened up, haven't they now?
Oh yeah, every door's been opened, and let's start going through those doors now, I guess.
Yeah.
What are your hopes for the unannounced Fourth Doctor Series 14? Personally, I'm hoping for a two box set long arc about the Fourth Doctor trying to get his salami sandwich from the Faux Marcy, which have stolen it. That seems like a very good story arc.
2025 is that?
I mean, the Tom Baker stuff recorded way in advance, so gosh, who knows? Who knows? Just have to wait and see.
I think hopefully we don't get an announcement too soon, though. I want to catch up on at least a couple of series of Fourth Doctor before we start finding out what's next in the pipeline.
Yeah, at least get Series 11 out of the way first.
Yeah, because very much knowing about Naomi and Harry, it's overshadowing Nerys Hughes' character, Margaret, who we haven't even met yet. So
yeah, we probably know more about that series than we do about the ones coming out sooner.
We know much more about Fourth Doctor in 2024 than we do about Sixth Doctor in 2022.
Yeah, that is true. Personally, I'd say Big Finish have some stellar audio trailers which can sometimes exceed the stories themselves. Examples such as Wreck of the Titan, Raincloud Man, The Home Guard, and Blue Forgotten Planet. I mean, there are some good... I mean, Nightshade I always think is a good trailer for Big Finish. I've always enjoyed that one.
Yeah. I think that's probably one that exceeds the story, actually, because I was a bit let down by that one in the end.
First part's really good. Second part, it just kind of slowly fade out, maybe.
I remember the ending felt like it went on for 15 minutes of just like the Doctor and Ace having an argument or whatever.
Which is classic Doctor and Ace. In saying that, Wreck of Titan and Raincloud Man are both stellar stories and better than their already amazing trailers. There we go. Wow. If Big Finish get Matt Smith, they can make a story about the Silent that some people theorized was to be in the TARDIS. Yeah, or explained the silent TARDIS in the lodger.
Yeah,
that'd be nice.
Yeah, there's certainly a lot left dangling there, and also just give us more silence. It's weird that Big Finish haven't done much with them. It's only unit silenced, really.
You think they'd maybe do classic Doctors, New Monsters, maybe?
Yeah, like I mean, they already work with the memory wipe, don't they?
Yeah, so they're there to be taken. So yes, a 7th Doctor story, Haunted House, silence. Yeah, go on, brilliant. I mean, a re-release of old 8th Doctor and Charlie stories, same with the other Doctors, maybe even a limited release. They teased in the podcast back in 2019.
I imagine when they said a limited release, that probably meant more physical, didn't it?
Probably a physical product.
Back in 2019, because there's no reason for a limited download.
Yeah.
But yeah, now I think they have very much shied away from stuff like that with physicals, so possibly not.
Just to wait and see if they.
But yeah, they could all. Yeah, they could definitely still bundle them together. But how many do you think they'd put in a set? Because whereas with the 8th Doctor and Lucy adventures, it's clear how you divide that up. But with like random main range stories, it's a bit more difficult. By year, maybe.
Maybe. Or they seem to be quite obsessed with Doctor by Doctor, haven't they now?
Yeah,
so
but
maybe
it's a lot of 8th Doctor and Charlie all to bundle together, though.
Unless you bundle like the Divergent stuff or the Curiz stuff, maybe. I don't know. You just find like a massive bundle. I don't know. Just to see if that is a thing.
Who knows?
I'm not sure what the general consensus is on some Dalek designs, but I may have one or two Dalek design hot takes. I mean, Stylish One, you had some hot takes last week about Jago and Lightfoot, so I'm very excited to see what hot takes you have this time. They seem to take, but they won't gel well with some people. Big Finish have 3 different endings for Leela, and they're all needlessly cruel endings for such a wonderful character.
I think that's what Louise Jameson likes, though, doesn't it? Like, she was very much in favour of getting killed off on the show, but they said, no, you're marrying Andred instead.
Whereas Sophie Aldred's the opposite, going, don't kill me off, where we're like, Ace, you need to be killed off now. There we go. I bet Big Finish are annoyed about the lack of curator images they took for Day of the Doctor. I mean, yeah, curator's been used quite a bit now. I found an old John Dorney tweet where he says that the Drufus Master was never intended to be the first Master, merely an early incarnation, and it was easier to market him as the first incarnation.
Yeah, I think. Well, I mean, we've now got Milo Parker as presumably the first, but you never know. That could even be.
Or
he could have had an accident on Gallifrey.
Yeah, you never know. Never know. That means Big Finish could still explore the first Master incarnation, especially now they have Milo Parker. There we go. Do you think Lisa Greenwood is done with Big Finish since he's been hit hard by COVID and struggling? A shame, since her character is great and seems like a lovely person. I don't think Big Finish have dropped Lisa Greenwood because she's suffering from long COVID. I think far from it.
Yeah, I think she will be back, but at the moment, let's not focus on her Big Finish side of things. Let's focus on her hopeful recovery. I mean, I've heard she is getting better, but slowly.
I think there's a Just Giving page for her about long COVID or something like that to support her. But I think if we look back at early Flip, there was a gap from like Scavenger to her returning in the main range in Last Adventure, and then with the 6th Doctor. So we've had gaps where Flip hasn't been a main feature in the Big Finish catalogue. So we'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah, and I mean, they've got so many companions to juggle around at the moment. Like, we're focusing on Constance a bit more recently. So, yeah, it's just a case of they'll get around to it when they get around to it. They took a very long time off Perry for a while, the 6th Doctor.
They did, yeah.
So, yeah, who knows?
I hope Milo Parker is going to be in more audios. He was brilliant in Masterful. Yeah, I really enjoyed him in Masterful.
Oh, yeah, definitely. He was a surprise from that set.
Yeah, great with Alex McQueen. I think we're all caught up with the chat. So, shall we begin the Dalek tier list, the main event?
Yeah. Should we
Right.
go drone first?
Let's do drone first. So, do you want to do your introduction while I load it up?
Yeah.
And
So
explain your reasonings for what you've done.
yeah. So in short, I've done two separate tier lists for this. Actually, we've got like the Dalek drone design, so the regular ones that you'll see hundreds of, thousands of, or multiple of in a story. Usually, if it's classic Who, about three at most, maybe, depending on how far the budget has stretched for Dalek's designs. And then separately, I've put the Dalek Supremes and Specials designs. So that's like anything that doesn't fall into the basic category, or the more one-offs, or maybe a couple of like an Emperor's Guard. We'll see all those in a bit. And a lot of the Paradigm Daleks that aren't drones, all that has been put in there. We have also sadly had to leave off the anything outside from expanded media. So no Dalek time strategist or time controller. However much we love those designs, it's just once you open that can of worms, you have so much more there. So many, probably like tens of loads of little designs and little tweaks on Big Finish covers that we'd be here all day. And so, we've had to limit ourselves to just about 40 of them, I think, in total.
So you're still getting plenty of Daleks, yeah. So
yeah.
when we can talk about those Dalek variations when we get to them on the tier list, maybe, and go, okay, so if we were doing the time strategist, that can go in this place.
Yeah,
we talk about the Supreme Dalek, really. So,
but yeah, it just seemed unfair to not to like include a couple of highlights from Expanded Universe rather than including them all. So it was fairer to just leave them all off. And also, I've left off any like minor alterations, like any like a different attachment to the Dalek, like the Scoop Dalek, or Pyroflame Dalek is technically on there, but that's more that design in general. I just happened to grab an image where they had the Pyroflame. That's not being treated as separate from the version with the plunger.
Yeah, because if you get pedantic, you'll be like, where's the cutting Dalek from Planet of the Daleks? Where's the syringe Dalek from Daleks in Manhattan?
Yeah.
And I'm sure there's plenty of variation from the Emperor Guards Daleks. So
yeah, and also how beat up the Daleks in Destiny are. You can tell which one's which from which has got which bit missing, really. So yeah, like you could include all the different ones from that if you wanted.
Yeah, and like I guess is the Glass Dalek from Revelation on the tier list? I didn't really look.
No, I forgot that one. That should have been on the specials. That is my fault. I should not have forgotten that one. But
we can put it on the tier list and go that can go there.
Yeah,
we can quickly talk about that. So, should we dive in then?
Yeah, let's go for it.
So, what do you make of the first Dalek design from the Dead Planet, or the Mutants, or the Daleks, whatever you want to call the story?
I mean, it's a classic, isn't it?
Yeah, I think I've grown a new appreciation for these Daleks ever since the B&M set from last year. I just realised how sleek they are.
Yeah, there's a very nice sleek nature to it, and I think it works very well for the story as well. Like, there's nothing overly extravagant on them. You don't yet have the slats or anything. It does very much suit this almost hospitalized feel of it. This very sanitized location of the Dalek City.
And they just feel like very quintessential 60s sort of B movie monsters, really.
I think either amazing or maybe even Supreme Being for me. I'll leave the choice up to you.
I think because it's the first, I think you've got to put it Supreme Being, really.
I
mean, I was thinking amazing, but I feel like that's a little bit harsh. And I think because it's the first, it can go in the top. Dalek Invasion of Earth. I'm very much the same, positives as the Dead Planet. It's just got a bigger fender.
And it's got the dish on the back, and that's about it for changes, isn't it?
Which personally, I think it's a bit of a downgrade compared to the Dead Planet one. Personally,
yeah, I will say it's not as good, but still very good. So amazing.
I was thinking good, but you know what? I'll go amazing.
Ah, there we go.
I think because of the photo, I think this is a hard thing because you're judging it as a designer, not with the knowledge of it's in a really good story.
Yeah, that's the other thing. You have to try our best to keep that out of it, but sometimes I think the nostalgia for different stories is going to creep in there.
And I think as well, like the Master of Earth cover, what they feature on, I think that's given me a new appreciation for that design with sort of the torchlight eye, the way that the eye's like a torch. I really like that.
I love the metallic sheen that cover gives it as well, and like reflecting the flames around it.
Yeah, so yeah, it can go in amazing. So then we have the Chase Dalek Master Plan version, where we saw the introduction of the solar slats, and still retaining the Hartnell gun, the sort of, is it like 4-disc gun? I don't know.
Yeah, it's
a Dalek
gun.
It's a
funny one, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a very intricate gun, and that's the thing I admire about the Hartnell Daleks, is how intricate the gun is compared to the later Daleks.
Yeah. Oh, see, I sort of prefer the sleeker look of the later guns.
Okay.
But
I just think it looks a bit more futuristic in a way, the Hartnell guns.
Yeah, I can see that. Where are you leaning towards with this variant then?
I would say amazing. Because I don't think it's the definitive, or maybe
nah.
Because I think the Power Dalek's the definitive 60s Dalek for me.
Ah.
Or the Troughton Dalek, I should say. But yeah, I'd say between amazing and good for me. How about yourself?
Yeah, I'd go the same. I'm not sure which one to more lean to at the moment. I'd say amazing, because I would put it on the same level as the Invasion of Earth Dalek.
I think I prefer it ever so slightly to the Invasion Earth one.
Yeah, so there we go. It's only fair to put them together.
Yeah. And I think as well, like the 1960s Daleks or the classic Daleks, because they're so short, they sort of remind me of like little Jack Russells, but they've got like a nasty bite. They've got like such a temper. And I think the smaller the Dalek is, the more aggressive it is.
There we go.
So yeah, the Power of the Daleks, Troughton Daleks, same as Evil of the Daleks. Again, we haven't gone into minor variation of all that's got a 1970s pupil. We haven't gone to that pedantic level of detail.
No, I think especially when the story's lost, so you never really see much of any of that. But I'd say Supreme Being for this one. I think it has the edge on at least the other two. I think it's on a par with the original design.
I much prefer the darker blue hemispheres than the Hartnell ones. That sort of almost, they're sort of like a bluey purple. They sort of border on that purple color, but I love that because it makes the silver. Yeah, it makes the silver stand out a lot more. And I think, I mean, I'm talking about the 70s Daleks now in a way, because I feel like the 60s Daleks, you see them coming where, as we move to my favorite Daleks, the 70s Daleks, because for me, the grey Daleks are the warrior Daleks. They're your tanks. They look like proper war machines. And the 60s Daleks, they're kind of leaning to that futuristic sci-fi design. Whereas for me, the definitive Daleks are, the grey and black Daleks.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. And I think especially it sort of suits Pertwee going down to Earth, doesn't it? That we now get these Daleks that are less out there and 60s future and more hard-hitting and modern for the 70s, contemporary to that time in a way.
So this Dalek, so these were first seen in Day of the Daleks and Frontier and Planet. They have more of a metallic finish and quite a long eye stalk in Planet of the Daleks. Certainly they have very long eye stalks of Pertwee Daleks. So for me, I'd say Supreme Being for me, the
I agree with that.
Oh, there we go. This is going well.
I love that design, to be fair. I think it's a shame it's not used as much on Big Finish covers, really. That seems to be changing a bit now with the Third Doctor adventures, but yeah, certainly not as much. And also, I think volume, like we've talked before about how a lot of Big Finish covers have helped things like the Invasion of Earth Daleks, but for me, the Volume 6 cover doesn't do as much for these Daleks. Like, I think they don't pop out as much on the cover.
Yeah, that is true.
They sort of blend into the green background, unfortunately. But yeah, that's more. We need to try and not get too distracted by Big Finish talk, but
we're looking at good old Daleks.
Yeah, that's just to sort of mirror the fact that sometimes they can do the design covers can do the design's favors, sometimes not so much. But yeah, the design itself is brilliant, and yeah, I love that like dark grey blue color of them.
I think as well that it having that metallic finish, it looks like it's metal. You know, so I really do admire that. So yeah.
Like I think actually, I'm gonna let you say that it's something you said before about the next Daleks, what you imagine them as. So I'll let you.
Right.
Yeah. Do you know what I'm on about?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, so I'll let you get on with this first.
We have the Death to the Daleks. Now, what Luke was alluding to, I've always perceived these Daleks as like a little science group of Daleks, that they were out there to get the Perineum and sort of use it for their biological warfare of plagues and all that sort of thing. So I've always saw the Death to the Daleks, Silver and Black Daleks, as a little scientist group. And it's a bit of a shame that sort of the 70s Daleks, we sort of lost that sort of hierarchy in sort of Dalek Society of Scientists and all that sort of thing. So I've always perceived these as a scientist unit of Daleks. Is that what you were alluding to?
Yeah, that is very much. And I was going to say, like, back to the 60s design, I think that works with them being much more scientific in a lot of ways. And I think, especially in the Daleks itself, but also power and such, you see that side of them much more. Whereas come to Day of the Daleks, and funnily enough, Planet of the Daleks, it is a scientific group, but even then, like, the strategies they're using, like the very much brutal methods, that makes it seem more like you say, the warrior Daleks. And so I think that's what makes that design in the Day and Planet even more powerful for me, is that they really do feel more like warriors than their 60s self, which sort of lean into more scientist stylings. And so, yeah, as for the Death to the Daleks design, I think it's a nice throwback as well to the 60s, and it suits this story. I think I do sort of understand why they didn't keep it though. Like the grey tankiness works more in Genesis for that battle. Yeah, which I mean, we'll get onto those in a sec. But yeah, as for this design, I think it works for me, but it's nothing. I think it's only amazing. It's not the supreme being. Are you going to disagree?
See, I like the addition of like the automatic machine gun. I think that makes it cool. Look so different, and I think that it just makes them look, I guess, more, well, not primitive, but it makes them look a bit more advanced with having that very odd looking automatic
the ingenuity as well behind it.
Definitely. So for me, I'd want it. I feel like Death to the Daleks design, or color scheme, I should say, is one of my underrated Dalek designs. So for me, it's Supreme Being. But you know what? I can live with Amazing, because it's still
we're gonna have so much in Supreme Being.
Yeah.
I think, and yeah, it is definitely an underrated design. So I think it deserves a high spot on this list.
Do you want to start with Genesis, since you've started talking about it?
Yeah, it's a nice design, isn't it? It's just going back to that tanky feel, and it suits the Genesis story really. Where do you want to put it?
I think it's still got to be Supreme Beings, really.
Yeah, it's so similar, isn't it, to the to the Day and Planet ones. You lose a bit of the metallic sheen, but you gain the new gun, like that more copper colored gun, as opposed to just the,
which I think is more iconic than the grey. It stands out more, doesn't it?
Yeah. So I think while on the one hand you lose one thing, I think you gain another, so it's still on an equal footing with the Day and Planet design.
And I think for me, one of the things what stands in my mind is that bit when I think you've got the Fowls sort of hiding, and then you've got the Dalek going across the trench.
Oh, that's a brilliant shot.
And that's one shot what always stays with me, and that's how I imagine a Dalek, and that's why the Grey Daleks are so iconic, because Genesis of the Daleks was my first classic Dalek story. So for me, these are like the definitive classic Dalek. So Supreme Beings it is.
It's how Davros designed them, so it's only fair.
Absolutely. It's got to be there. So that is Supreme Being for the travel Mark III travel machine.
Yeah. Now, are we gonna have our first in one of the bottom 3 categories with the Destiny design?
See, Destiny of the Daleks for Daleks. I think they're all right. I don't see the hate for them because they've been looking for Davros, so they're gonna look a bit worse for wear. So I think that it works that the props are looking a bit worse for wear. You know, they've been going all through Skaro trying to find him. So I liked the battered wornness of the Destiny Daleks personally.
I think my problem with the battered wornness of it is that it doesn't feel like it's a battle damage or a natural damage to a Dalek. It doesn't feel intended. It very much feels like it is. They've got into the prop cupboard, got these things out after 5 years after Genesis, become a bit discoloured in the sun, some of them have bits chipped off where other props have knocked against them. It feels too much like a prop. And I think the way it's shot and the way the story's lit as well doesn't help that. Like you were saying, the amazing direction helps the design in Genesis a lot, like that amazing shot in the trenches. Here, the direction hinders them a bit more, I would say. And so that is why I'd say good is a compromise I'd make if you want to put them up.
I think that was the highest I would go good.
Oh, I would go acceptable, but if you want to push for good.
Oh, we'll go acceptable. All right. We'll look a bit more of a hot take there for you.
It's not the great space dustbin yet, but yeah, I'd certainly say.
I mean, they look a bit like a dustbin in this, but yeah.
They're very much so.
Right. 5 Doctors. It's kind of an amalgamation of sort of what the 80s would do with the Daleks and sort of a 70s Dalek, isn't it? It's a sort of a weird mishmash, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a weird one.
I really like the sort of red, sort of orangey dome lights within this. I think that makes it look quite striking.
It's got that weird little thing right on the top as well that pops out. And I don't know what that's about.
I think all the 80s Daleks from 5 Doctors and I think Revelation of the Daleks has it. I'm not sure if Remembrance has it, the Renegades. I don't know if that's part of like the mechanism, whether they were newly built props, because I know that the skirt section got steeper.
Yeah.
So maybe it was like a little mechanism for them to, swizzle the dome and maybe the eye stalk. So I don't know if it was like a little bit of the mechanism they couldn't hide. I don't know.
I don't think it never seems as obvious in Resurrection. I mean, it's certainly there when you look at the publicity images, but actually watching the story, I don't see it on any of them. Maybe it's like something they're able to hide somehow, or maybe between the publicity images and the filming of the story, they sanded it down or something, or got rid of it. But So, I mean, it's a minor detail, but that's just something that feels a bit odd to me, and it's only really noticeable to me in the 5 Doctors.
I want to say good for me.
I'd say good, and I like the gun as well. It's got like a bit of red inside it. I'm not quite sure.
Yeah, about
how mechanism. Or why. Yeah, but for me, that looks pretty cool.
Do you want to start with Resurrection?
Yeah, I mean, again, we're in that category where not much changing is there. Like, there's some more, like, so they're all new props, and the dimensions are somewhat different. But at a glance, you see it as pretty similar to the early 70s Daleks even, but a bit more matte in a lot of ways. The eye stalks definitely changed, though. It starts with the big ring at the back, and then they get smaller as they go along, rather than it being like small ring front and back, and then they get bigger towards the middle.
Well, you've got that sort of the white rings this time instead of the blue. And I personally don't like that.
I don't mind it, but I definitely don't like it as much.
It sticks out like a sore thumb on like a more muted Dalek for me personally. So I'm not too keen on it personally.
I'd say good again for that one. What would you go for?
Yeah, I'm in agreement. I think I think they look better in Revelation because they're a little bit darker. Because the Resurrection Daleks, they've got more of like a weird bluey paint app in it.
I think the way they're shot as well helps in Revelation.
Yeah, a lot more darker. Speaking of Revelation, I'm just going to say this now. I can't stand the Necros Daleks.
Oh, really?
For me, it's a nice little prototype of what the Imperial Daleks should be. But I think that the Imperial Daleks just get it so much more right. Like I said, the Eye Stalk, just having the white rings, it sort of gets lost on this Necros Dalek.
Oh yeah,
I think it would pop a lot more if it had like the gold rings, the plunger. Being your standard plunger, not being gold, it just makes it look a little bit cheap. And I think it just sort of being that just pure white, it just looks a bit sickly for me personally. And that more bronze finish on the hemispheres and the neck bin section and on the mesh, I just think it looks a little bit tacky personally. So for me, I'd want to put it in Great Space Dustbin. I don't like it. I just don't like it.
I don't mind it. It certainly does feel like the cheaper version. It's like the Mum, can we have Imperial Daleks? No, we have Imperial Daleks at home.
It really is.
But I mean, it's sort of like it's the forerunner to it, isn't it? They were still getting there. I'd say it's acceptable.
Yeah.
So I'll leave the decision in your hands. I'm just thinking we probably won't have anything in Great Space Dustbin after this. I don't think so. If you want to put it in the dumps, you go ahead.
I'll put it in the dumps because I just think that what you get with an Imperial Dalek. I mean, I know we're skipping a Dalek design here. I just think that it's miles above.
Yeah. Got Renegades first. The wobbly boys.
I love
unfortunately.
them. I love them. I really do. I think that's my favorite 80s drone Dalek design. For me personally, I like the silver on the eye stalk and just that shot of it coming out of the shed in Totter's Lane on fire. I just love it. It just shows that it just shows it's a proper war machine. Personally,
how far would you go then? Is it Supreme Being for you?
I would say amazing personally.
I'd say more good for me.
Okay.
I'm not as taken by this style. And I think, again, it's sort of that thing of we've had this design so often now.
Add a little bit of variation, I guess.
Okay, it feels like it needs the gloss of the day and planet Daleks in a lot of ways. Like it does. I think by this time, it's starting to feel more like a prop. And maybe it's the wobbling that doesn't help that. And that's something I probably need to look past for just design wise. But yeah, I don't love it, but I'd compromise at good, or if you want to put in amazing, I'll let you put in amazing. The decision is yours.
I'll go good, so it evens out amazing personally. So yeah, I do like me some Renegade Daleks. So the Imperial Daleks, I think this is, like we said about the Necros Dalek, it's such a refined version. The new changes of the dome lights, the new plunger. It just
I love how the plunger has like the indents, and then you see that come into play when it plugs in to the console on the ship. I love that little detail.
Yeah, so for me, I think it has to be Supreme Being. I just love the Imperial Daleks. They're just something so lovely about them.
I'd go amazing.
Okay.
I do quite like. Again, it slightly feels like a prop. Like some of the gold slats on the side almost feel like that someone's got some gold foil and put it on there at times.
I mean, that very much is what it is.
Yeah, exactly. I do. Yeah, I think it's a great design. I love the the lights as well. The dome lights. How they're now not domes. They're like these circles. Like the rings around there. I think that's a great choice. But yeah, I'd lean more towards amazing. So again, decisions yours.
I just think to add a little bit of color to Supreme Beings.
Oh yeah, that's true.
And plus, they did win the fight, so I think
I'll let you have that and a Supreme Being. You let me have Renegade and good. So we've evened out.
There we go. So we're on to the Bronze Boys. So the Daleks of our childhood, and arguably they never look better than they did in Series 1. Again, we could talk about a variation of Bronze Daleks, that in Dalek, one Dalek had a gold band and it was never seen again. But yeah, I think that if we're going off the Bronze Daleks from Series 1, then Supreme Beings, because I love the sort of the green paint taps in there, what they painted on the actual Dalek to make it look more bronze. And I think the lighting in Series 1 really accommodates the bronze design. They look like they are these, metal tanks, whereas you get into Series 2 and 3, the lighting becomes more sickly and the props just become a little bit more cheaper. And the time you get to Asylum of the Daleks and Into the Dalek, they do look plasticky. But I do like the bronze Daleks personally.
Yeah, I think they've worked. I think up until Series 4 they worked really well, and even I'd say Series 5 as well. Like when they were on their way out, you're getting the new Paradigm Daleks in now. I think they looked fine up to then. They definitely looked better in Series 1, but I don't think it went downhill nearly as much in 2, 3, and 4.
I think Series 3 they're okay because they're like in the sewers, and I like that.
Yeah,
but I think when you get to them in sort of in the void room, they look a bit, because it's quite bright, harsh lighting, doesn't quite work.
I think it's a shame. It's a design that's sort of been slightly sickened by how much it's been overused now and just constantly seeing all the time. You just think, please, can we get something new at this point? And like even when we get new stuff, you're always bringing back the old
bronze,
design as like the main ones, and the new stuff just happens to be a variation. Like even like just keep the same Daleks and just repaint them or something. Like give us that same design in silver and blue and or silver and black. Like you don't have to make entirely new models to give us a fresh look. Just give us something other than the bronze.
It's like in Revolution of the Daleks when they said about the Death Squad.
Oh,
give the Daleks maybe black slats and black hemispheres, just to make it look a little bit different and go, oh, that's a really nice little shake up of a bronze Dalek, instead of us going, oh, it's just a bronze Dalek with a bit of a claw at the end of it. So,
and then you can sell more toys.
Yeah, exactly. History of the Dalek set, character options can keep releasing them. So I just think, like you said, it just needs like a little repaint, because the design itself is brilliant. I just think the color scheme has maybe had its day. I remember when character options did like the 3.75 inch Dalek repaints of these, and it was like the orange dome light, silver and blue, and I think black and silver, I think. So it was lovely just to see those Daleks in that color scheme. But yeah, where are we going to put it? That is the question.
I'd go amazing. Would you go Supreme Being?
See, I'm torn, because I think the more grubbier and more bronze they are, the better. But it's like you say, that we've sort of become, I think that's the thing what lets the bronze Daleks down, because they can't let go of them.
We've become just desensitized to them, haven't we? They no longer have that wow. And that almost does hurt them when you watch back old stories a bit.
So yeah, I'll agree with you, amazing. Because I know we're going to disagree later on. Quite a bit.
So that Paradigm Daleks.
The one time Moffat should not have listened to fans.
No, these needed to stay around. And I mean, like we get on to next one, they look so much better when they have that metallic finish. Like, and I think that was a lot of people's problems, just seeing them all there together like that, like coming out of the Rainbow Factory and just popping on screen so much. It just didn't quite work like they were planning on doing. But then when you get to the metallic design, it just feels so much more. They feel so much more tanky. And I think the design itself, I love it. I love the more human eye in the eye stalk. I think that's a nice change. And yeah, I love the throwback to the very first Daleks, where we've now got rid of the slats on the side. I just wish they could have done more with these Daleks instead of just tossing them aside.
It was a lovely wink and nod to the Peter Cushing Daleks. And I'm a big fan of the Paradigm Daleks. I'm a big advocate of the Paradigm Dalek should have stayed. And if you've read, I think, is it the Dalek Project? That was a really good Dalek comic with the Paradigm Daleks. And I really admire them going for, okay, we're going to give these Daleks a hierarchy. We're going to do a strategist, scientist, Eternal, that mysterious Eternal. We never quite know what the Eternal was. So I admire the Paradigm Dalek. So for me, I think they're such a good idea. So I'm a big supporter of them. So I think we're going to disagree where they should go.
Where would you put them? Because I deliberately put them on metallic version because, like as you say, the idea behind it was very much what carries them there. So I sort of put the metallic version as there as the way to redeem them and put them higher up than they could have been. But it is the disappointment of we didn't get to see that.
See, I would say good for the standard drone because I prefer the more darker metallic drone Dalek, so that will go up a place for me. So I would say
you'd go good and amazing.
Yeah, that's what I would say.
That's where I'd go too.
What? This is madness. Goodness, to be honest, I'm actually surprised how much we're agreeing.
Yeah. Like it's only really been the 80s where we've had some rocky ground.
Yeah, pretty much. So speaking of rocky ground, the security drone. I like the color scheme. I like the different lights. The whole idea of them being 3D printed, I think that was a pretty nice idea to keep it modern and relevant. A nice little spin.
I think you've also got to remember that it's human designed, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's not like proper. This isn't something the Daleks themselves have come up with, and so in that context, I think it works very well. It's a shame they got shunted off towards the end of the story in replacement for the Bronze Dalek. So they, yeah. But again, we're trying to focus on design here, not story. And so story comes into it slightly though, like we've said with the Paradigm, because there are reasons and story reasons behind different looks at times and different feels. But it's like you've got to separate story reason and story quality itself. And so I'd give it a good.
I was thinking either good or acceptable. But yeah, I'll go good. I'll be nice. I'll be nice to it. So that's the drone tier list, everyone.
It's weird how even the top three are.
Pretty much, yeah.
Wow.
All right, should we move on to the next tier list? Or do you want to have a quick look at the chat first? Or
yeah, well, quick look at the chat. Let's divide it up. Right,
let's have a look at the chat.
Let's find the stylish ones, hot takes.
There, let's have a look. Have you got the chat loaded up? Because I need to go try and find that.
Yeah, I'm just finding it. It's been busy.
Hey,
sorry, we've been. Okay, I found the Milo Parker comment, so should be okay. Possible Dalek hot take 1 from the stylish one. The Invasion of Earth Daleks are some of my least favorite. They're way too chunky and look so awkward, especially compared to the other Dalek designs from the 60s.
I guess they look a bit chunky because of the big fender, so I guess they naturally stick out like a sore thumb.
But it was sort of a deliberate design choice to make it look like, now these can go anywhere, isn't it? Because before it was very much part of the story that they were only able to go on metallic surfaces to get the static electricity pickup. And so I think in universe they had to explain that to the general audience, didn't they? But then after that they moved on from that. And I'm glad they did. I'm glad that we got past that when we did with the chase. I think it would have looked a bit awkward having the huge bumper at the bottom there. But for the Dalek Invasion of Earth story, I think I liked it.
Possible Dalek hot take number 2. Not sure about this one, but still. To me, the power of a Dalek design is the quintessential Dalek design, superb, a perfect blend of all that is good about the Daleks.
We have ranked that top, haven't we?
Yeah, I think that for many people, that Dalek design is their favourite. So, yeah.
Okay. The Dalek Emperor guard drones are the best 60s Dalek design. The Black Dome clashes so well with the rest that they just pop. We'll get onto them shortly.
Yeah, I was going to say something then, but I was like, gonna hold off that. Dalek Hot Take 3. The movie Daleks are better than any of the Hartnell Daleks, except the jungle. I'm in the habit of saying Jungles of Mechanist. Mechanist Jungle Daleks, of course, by a long shot. They're so unique, and I've always loved their design. Yeah, I do like the movie Daleks. Are they on the tier list?
No, they're not. I thought because it was just sticking to TV stuff, and with the chase, like they're barely noticeable in the background there. They are very much just like these static props just there to sort of fill space. So I didn't feel like it was worth putting them on there. I'm sorry. I mean, heresy, but
good good job James in there, because they'd kill you.
Yeah, I'm safe for now, thankfully.
I mean, I do love them. I think they're great.
Yeah, I think they are brilliant, but
especially this Doris.
Oh, there we go.
There we go.
What?
Whereabouts are we? Dalek Hot Take 4, the grey 70s Daleks are the most black. This is a hot take.
Oh no.
Here we go. The grey Daleks are the most bland. Don't get me wrong. The black and gold Daleks are amazing, but I've never been a fan of the grey. They just seem dull. They worked in Genesis, so okay, we can agree on that. But we respect opinions here.
I think the new B&M set Dalek have made them look better, if you ask me. Is that the
That's a
very recent one? Do you think? Yeah, the Day of the Daleks.
They do look metallic finish. There. I think that's. I mean, it seems wrong to say, but out of the B&M sets, that's the one I'm most excited for. Sorry, in Chesterton, sense rights involved.
That's the one that even I'm tempted to pick up, and I've already got a Day of the Daleks Supreme.
It's okay. You can say that one's from Frontier in Space. So it works. Or you could say that one's from Dark Ice 4, because that Dalek does appear in Dark Ice 4.
Oh, yeah. That's on the cover. That's Supreme there.
Go.
Yeah.
I have no idea why they'd have to do a Daleks for one-time thing. Me neither. I think they're great, and I'm glad that Big Finish are finally using them.
They would have worked interestingly in Destiny.
They would actually, yeah.
I suppose it's just that long, because Genesis, it was nice to switch back to the grey. I don't think that design would have worked there. And then by the time you get round to Destiny, it's been so long since Death anyway.
The Destiny of the Dalek design looks like it would have fallen over if somebody sneezed on it in its vicinity. I mean, yeah, could agree with that. What is that? Where else are we? You'll probably mention this, but do you think we'll get a light grey planet Dalek, the SFX one? Maybe get a planet Dalek with the orange dome lights, because I remember, was it like the Blue Peter advert on like the DVDs going, somebody's stolen these Daleks, please help them return. So I think that would be a good little variant for character options to do.
They love their obscure little variants, don't they? So,
and I can see Al doing this Dalek went missing thanks to Blue Peter viewers. It returned to the BBC.
But as an Easter egg, you somehow get it to say that.
Yeah, that would be lovely.
Like you have to press it a certain amount of times or something.
Oh yeah, like the special weapons sound effects Dalek. Yeah. I know that the Dalek time controller isn't on here, but I find the way.
Sorry.
What?
I'm very sorry. I was just apologizing to Stylish on that error.
But I find the way Big Finish have handled that design so weird that they say it's purple and gold, but then the official render made it look silver and slightly blue.
Yeah, it's a weird one sometimes, isn't it?
I mean, I think I prefer the silver and purple personally.
Yeah, I prefer the silver. And then there's sometimes with the Time Strategist instead, where it's the new series Supreme but purple with that bit in the middle, where it looks like, I think it's the War Doctor 3 cover. It doesn't quite look right how they cross over, and it becomes a bit of an optical illusion. Like if you look at it too hard, that ruined that cover a bit for me. But yeah,
maybe that's part of that Dalek sort of strategy to mess your mind up.
It's existing in multiple time zones at once. That's why that's happening.
I mean, we could have included the variant. Is it the Dalek Overseer from War Doctor Begins? Or have you not listened to that yet?
No, I've still not gotten to. I've listened to Lionhearts, but
okay,
yet to do Shadow Squad.
Well, there's a little new Dalek in that.
There we go.
My headcanon is that the Daleks in Destiny are annoyed by the Doctor's comment about not being able to fly up and catch them, and they develop the technology to fly. That's a good little hot take. Well, not a hot take. That's a good little theory. The shot of... Oh, do you want to read this?
Oh, I was just going to say, with Mr. Bog Cactus saying, when I was a kid, sorry, I had a planet. I had a planet supreme, and over time the history set fell apart. That's what. It's always a shame, isn't it? And I think hopefully later this year we'll get another planet supreme.
Yeah, I guess that will be December. That will be December, because I know that there's a wave coming out in December, so that will be your planet and your evil set. And I think
so hopefully you get your chance there.
Yeah, so you should get your Dalek there. The shot of the Dalek in Genesis above the trenches is great, but I much prefer the shot of the Dalek in Dalek's Master Plan Part 1, where it exterminated the space security guard.
Oh, that's another good one.
That is a good one. I do like it when a Dalek points its eye stalk right down. It looks very menacing.
I like the fact that he's on his knees as well. I think it's a beautiful shot. There we go. Dalek hot take number 4. Off you go.
Dalek hot take number 4. The Imperial Daleks are basically flawless. They clash so well with the Renegade Daleks, and especially with the Renegade Dalek Supreme, which is a fantastic Dalek Supreme. I'm in agreement with that.
Or is it? We'll see.
Oh. Okay, we might disagree with them.
Yeah, well, you certainly agree with them being basically flawless.
Well, the Imperial Daleks, yes, I agree to that, but whether about the Supreme, we'll have to wait and see. Sea Devil Lagoon, the Dalek expert Ethan. The Necros Daleks look amazing as a figure, but not on screen as much. Yeah, I agree. I think that character options have redeemed so many Dalek designs, like the Dalek Invasion of Earth Daleks. They look... and I guess with the Cybermen in a way, that it's amazing them being translated into plastic, how much better they look. And I personally prefer, I think, the first Necros Dalek they did, because it had much more of a longer eye stalk than the sound effects one and the one that came in the Toys R Us set. They used a nice matte chalky white on the original figure, which makes it look great. But yeah, on screen, the Imperial Daleks nail the look. Yeah, I think... the other Necros Daleks had like a gloss finish, so it didn't really help them. I'm with you, Ben, on the Necros Daleks. They look cheap and a poor version of the Imperial Daleks. Hey, I'm glad that... I thought that was a hot take, that the Necros Daleks were horrible. obviously not.
No. I think because they're on screen so little, you don't have as many people defending them as well.
And plus, I'm not... I mean, this could be a hot take. I'm not too keen on Revelation of the Daleks. It's just Perry and the Doctor wandering around for 45 minutes before we get to the good stuff.
Yeah, it's not the greatest for me. I don't mind it, but...
Right, whereabouts are we in the old chat? Remembrance of the Daleks.
My place.
Remembrance of the Daleks could have been solved way quicker if the Doctor and the countermeasures group just threw a load of stones on the ground, and that would have caused the renegades to fall over. Yes, and that would have stopped the hand of Omega. Yeah, I think quite cool.
Yeah. I honestly think some of these Daleks look better in figure form when they're not all battered and beaten up. Yeah, I mean, definitely Destiny does. But even then, they feel a bit too light grey.
Yeah, do look. They've got that weird sort of chalky texture to them, those Daleks. But still, they do translate well with that sort of gloss black finish to them.
Yeah, it's certainly better in figure form. I think one of the only ones that maybe doesn't is the bronze Daleks, just because of how metal they actually look there on screen in Series 1.
I'd say the best character options have got the bronze Dalek is the 18-inch voicer interactive Dalek.
I'd say another good one is the Asylum set.
Oh, yes.
The version in that, but
I like the 3.75 version of that, actually.
Yeah.
Because that's like a really grimy, dirty bronze. That sounded better in my head, actually.
I know what you mean. Yeah. But yeah, I certainly do feel like they look better on screen than in figure form, even though the figures a lot of the time do end up looking really good.
The Paradigm Daleks has so many features only revealed in Doctor Who Confidential and books. It was clearly set up for future stories, and they had a lot of potential. Yes, because the whole sort of section on the back with the slat with that sort of that weird thing on the back, and that would sort of fold out and have like either a claw or a gun or a different attachment, and that would swing round. That's why it didn't have slats, because it would swing round on that midsection like a conveyor belt, which I would have liked to have seen. Cool.
Yeah, it's always lost potential, isn't it? I mean, even if we get Big Finish stories expanding on them, it's still like that thing of seeing it on screen. It does. It's not the same.
Most of the Renegades were the steep skirt Necros Daleks, with only being two of the old props from the 70s. That's a nice bit of Dalek trivia.
Okay.
The bronze Daleks are flawless. They are amazing. I love them.
Fair enough.
Yeah. One of the props in The Magician's Apprentice was a fan prop of the original Dalek. So it had a GLD band as well.
Gold, I'm guessing.
Yeah, gold.
That's interesting.
Okay. Because I know that when it came to like Magician Apprentice, that they used basically all the Daleks from the Doctor experience.
Yeah, I think it was basically just, we need as many as possible. We don't care what they look like, just as long as they're Daleks.
Yeah, and I know that in Asylum they used Russell T Davis's own Dalek as well, so that's quite cool.
I mean, it's sort of a throwback right to the Planet Supreme, isn't it? When that's supposedly one of Terry Nation's. But I think that might be a myth. I'm not too sure. But
yeah, I think the Dalek Army did like a whole video series about sort of Dalek misconceptions, and I think that was one of them.
Yeah,
so there's some good videos. There's some good videos.
Yeah, and I mean, you could tell with people like that take Daleks so much more seriously and put so much more focus into different designs than I have when putting together these lists.
Oh, we're just going, it looks pretty, that can go on top of a list.
Yeah.
We are just two fans just going, we like that Dalek. We can't tell you about how each prop varied. We only know the obvious changes.
Some little tidbits here and there, but no great details about which one's which.
Yeah, we can't tell you that, in Genesis for Daleks, it uses Dalek 1's neck bin and Dalek 3's skirt section. Yeah, we can't go to that level of detail. Do you want to do Dalek hot take number 5?
The Asylum Paradigm Daleks look great. They're not amazing, but they're great in my opinion. I would have loved to see them return. Yeah, I think we both discussed that when we were talking about them. Yeah, we would have loved that. And, just that metallic finish does wonders for that design. I mean, I think even if I do prefer the bronze Daleks, that doesn't mean I want to keep them around still. Like, I want, it's just you need these changes to come along. But yeah, who knows? Maybe 14th Doctor new showrunner will finally get a full-on new Dalek design.
We can,
or even just a recolor.
Yeah, we'll just that. That would be nice.
Yeah, just something that isn't bronze.
Whereabouts are we in the old chat?
Mr. Monk Cactus, they look great but overused. Yeah, that must be the bronze.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah, I think we've covered that
alphabet there, but pretty sure bronze. Final Dalek hot take.
Okay.
The security drones grew on me, but I'm still not a massive fan. They're fine. I'm glad they were a one-off, but they should give us new Daleks. Yeah, definitely. I think we're both in agreement there. They were nice for the one story. It's just a shame that we then just went back to the gold design again.
Right, should we go on to the Oddity Dalek Supreme tier list now? We've sort of caught up on the old chat.
Yeah, let's go for it.
Right, let's crack on. So I'll let you do the intro while I load it all up.
Yeah, so, well, basically it's just Supremes and other little oddities thrown in there. We've got all the paradigms in there too, which I think is going to be a pretty quick and easy discussion. Like we've sort of gone over them all already. Yeah, we've got other little things like the reconnaissance Dalek. It's basically just anything that fits into a more one-off or only like there's a couple of them, like there's a limited number in universe design is pretty much the point of view I went for with this one. Something that just doesn't quite fall into the drone category.
So we kick off this with a very old Dalek design, which character options have named the Dalek Saucer Pilot. Mainly because the Saucer Commander wasn't finished in time, so this was how it was presented, and then it was fully finished for next week's episode.
With the becomes known as the Black Dalek, doesn't it?
Yeah, I like the idea that it's a Saucer Pilot. I like that variation. I know it's sort of fans putting things into it, but I like that little fan theory of it being a pilot Dalek.
I honestly prefer it to the finished look of the Black Supreme. I think they should have just stuck with it like that, really.
I guess it does look more striking, like it's like in the military way of like different bands. So maybe the more bands you have on your slats, the more hierarchy you are in the Dalek society, maybe.
Yeah, who knows? I'd
say good for me personally.
Yeah, I'd go good as well.
I'd say good. Very much the same Dalek, but finished painting.
Yeah, I think I'd say good or acceptable.
I'll agree with. Oh gosh, my computer's froze. This is my mouse is froze.
Oh no, you're still here. Don't worry.
There we go.
Okay.
This is the joys of live streaming. So yeah, we are in agreement of good.
Yeah, I do prefer the Saucer pilot, but I think they're close enough that I can have them on the same band.
And then we have the iconic Supreme Dalek of the 60s.
Yeah, Big Finish love this one, don't they?
Yeah, it does have a variation. I think in the Chase, it doesn't have the black paint app on the eye stalk, whereas in the Dalek Master Plan, it has the black eye stalk painted, much like the Saucer Commander Dalek. I think this is amazing. I like it. I like how it just makes the blue. It's more sleek than the Saucer Commander, and I think it makes the blue pop a lot more personally. Yeah. So I think
it's also got enough grey on it still, and the black doesn't feel quite as overpowering as it does on the Black Dalek, as it's called in.
Yeah.
So I'd say amazing.
No, we're in agreement.
Hey.
And then we have the Emperor Guard Dalek. I think this is quite an interesting variant of a Dalek.
Yeah. I mean, it's sort of like it's the halfway between Supreme and Drone, isn't it? And I think it's a nice way to differentiate it and give it like a special purpose without having it be a Supreme. Yeah, I'd say amazing.
Yeah, I'm in agreement too. Yeah, there's not really much you can say. It's like, yeah, it's good.
Yeah,
it is a good one. And I do like the render on Alien Heart of Dalek Soul. I think it makes it very good. Nice. Speaking of Evil of the Daleks, we'll soon be seeing this Emperor in animated form. Yeah, I like that it's a static prop because it just shows that it's the Emperor. He doesn't have to move for anyone, much like in like the TV 21 comics or Remembrance of the Daleks in a way. I kind of like the grandeur of it.
Yeah, I left that one off because it's technically Davros, so I didn't want to. But yeah, I do prefer the Emperor to be a static boy, similar to what the new series does with him. But yeah, I think it's just amazing. I'd say not quite Supreme Being.
Yeah, I'd say so. I mean, I think that it's probably, I don't know if this is a hot take, but my least favorite Emperor of the two Emperor designs.
Oh,
Or I mean, I'm sure we'll talk about it in a minute.
There's some things I prefer and some things I don't. Obviously, there's the grandeur of the new series one, but you couldn't quite achieve that back then without the CGI and stuff, or some very awkward model shots, maybe. But yeah, I think there's something great about that one. Maybe it's a bit too tall, a bit too cone-like, But I love the dome lights, how it's got like loads of them going around and such, and like the eye stalk. Yeah, I think there's a lot to love, and there's some stuff to maybe like a bit less. But yeah, very much when listening to We Are the Daleks, because there's an Emperor in that, and I very much imagine that being like this, but Imperial-ified, because that's the Dalek we get on that cover. And so, yeah, that's sort of the inspiration I took from that.
I just think that having the black base underneath the Emperor kind of diminishes it. I think if it had a bit more of a unique design, I'd maybe be a bit more into it, maybe, at the bottom. It just looks like they've just got a black box. I'm like, oh, we'll just raise the prop up a little bit higher.
Yeah, that's true.
But that's just my view on it, really.
Yeah.
So
Gold Supreme.
I'm just gonna say Supreme Being. I like him.
What? I always love my Supremes to have a bit more of an edge over the usuals, like we have with the planet one, where it is a different design. But it's the Gold Supreme. It's the classic Supreme Dalek. It does look great. I'm torn between Supreme Being and Amazing. So since you're leaning Supreme Being, I'll go Supreme Being.
See, I think as well the B&M set sort of tainting my judgment and making me go put it in Amazing because it's put it in Supreme Being.
It's still like at the front of your mind at the moment, isn't
it? For me, I like it. And then, like you said, the Planet Supreme, for me, it's probably the most iconic Supreme Dalek, maybe.
It's the Dalek Supreme, isn't it? When you think Dalek Supreme, this is the one that comes to mind. Only in one episode, but I was fascinated with this Supreme in what's it called? Growing up, reading about it in the Monsters and Villains book before getting to see the actual story. Kind of being disappointed with it only being one episode, but what an impact it makes, what a design it has, and just like reading about how it kills this other Dalek simply for failing its task. Like, what a badass.
I think as well, for me, having this very distinct Supreme Dalek, it just shows that there is a Supreme Council of Daleks, that you can have your Day of the Daleks, and I think that's Dalek's name, Dalek Chief. So I like that you can have more sort of grandeur Supreme Daleks to show that they're a little bit more supreme than other Supreme Daleks. So I think we're in agreement with it being Supreme Being.
Yeah, very much so.
So I do like it.
Yeah, and I mean it does make sense because you have that the Gold Supreme in Frontier in Space as well, which is set at the same time and part of the same Dalek plan as the Planet of the Daleks. So it's nice to have the Supreme Council introduced there.
Right.
Yeah. And then I think Big Finish have sort of gone back into that and sort of had the Supreme Councillors reporting to the Emperor in a way, haven't they?
Which I like. I do like that.
Yeah, I think it's nice that they expanded that. But yeah. Resurrection now.
I think the story lets this one down because we never properly see it fully. It's always either shot in the dark, which is great.
Yeah, or it's like in that red room, isn't it? You almost can't tell. Like, I think it takes a while for me to tell that it's a different Dalek.
Because the way those Daleks in Resurrection, it is a bit, because they're so sort of dark grey, it is a little bit hard to sort of see if it's just a standard drone. Then the only time you get to see it pretty different is on the TARDIS scanner from the still you've used.
Yeah, and then you only get to see some of the white hemispheres there.
So I think it's good, personally.
Yeah, I also think going back to the Gold Supreme, now that I think about what gives that one the edge as well, is you see it getting in on the action. With Resurrection Supreme, he's never in on the action.
Yeah, that is true. That is true.
I mean, the recent Dalek Defense cover, seeing it on there, I think it pops so much more. I love it on there.
Yeah.
But yeah, very much. I'd lean, good or amazing. Up to you.
I'm gonna put it in good.
Yeah. I think it's just a shame it never gets to stand out as much on screen.
But the next Supreme, I think it's the best of the 80s Supreme Daleks. For me, I've got a little bit of nostalgia because it was the first classic Dalek I owned. I got the Product Enterprise remote control one. So for me, I think that it's an improvement on the Resurrection one because I prefer the silver and black paint apps with the orange dome lights. It just looks a bit, stands out a little bit more and has a bit more of a color. Like you say, you like your Supreme to stand out a little bit more than your Drone Dalek. So having that silver makes it look a little bit more hierarchy, a little bit more posh and grandeur to it.
Yeah, see, one of the things that bugs me
all right,
is the eye stalk being so small. I don't know why it is, but it just doesn't feel right in that sense. I do like the color scheme though. I like that change. It almost feels like too much of a change in story. Like it feels like a Dalek design too far when you've got Renegades and Imperials, and you've got this different design thrown in. But yeah, I quite like it. I'd say good or amazing. Are we compromising at amazing here?
Yeah, I think so because I personally prefer it to the Resurrection one.
Yeah, I'd probably say that as well.
Because again, it has sort of the same. Well, it doesn't have the same fault as the Resurrection drone Dalek because of the white rings. Because you've got the white hemisphere, so it sort of balances itself out in a way. That eye stalk.
Yeah.
Special weapons Dalek. This Dalek. Yeah,
he's the boy.
He's the boy, but as a kid, I didn't really vibe with it because it didn't seem very Dalek-y with not having like the dome, the eye stalk. But it makes sense why it doesn't have an eye stalk because it's a weakness. It's not your traditional Dalek tank. But yeah, I've grown to love the Imperial Dalek, special weapons Dalek, I should say.
I think back to what we were talking about with Destiny and how those Daleks, like the damage to them, it looked like it wasn't battle damage, it was damage in the prop cupboard. This, it's got like that almost damage to it, the oil running down it all being quite tainted. It feels like it's been lived in universe in that sense. It doesn't feel like just a damaged prop. It feels like a real thing, really. And so I love that the touches there of it. It's not this pristine thing. It's this very dirty, very oily look. And yeah, I'd say either amazing or supreme being. Up to you. I'm kind of leaning more towards amazing myself, but
I'll agree, and I like what you said about sort of the weathering on it. It makes it look like a tool. Because that's what the Dalek is. The special weapons are. It is a tool when the Imperial Daleks aren't doing as well. They need to open the old toolbox, and the special weapons Dalek
roll him out.
Yeah. And we have the new series Emperor Dalek. We could have used the Paradigm Dalek Emperor from City of the Daleks.
Oh yeah, that's another.
That's another.
The blue was a weird choice though, given that that's meant to be the scientist, but
yeah. Well, no, the strategist, yeah.
Oh, strategist, yeah, sorry.
Yeah, weird choice, but there we go. I think this is my favorite Emperor design. I like the little mutant inside.
That's nice.
It just builds on the evil Emperor to a more wider scale. I like that you've got still these massive panels, so you could feel like it would close in if it was sort of under attack. And protect itself with these massive panels of Dalekanium. So I really like the design of it. The little claws always fascinated me. Yeah. So I love this Emperor, and yeah.
Yeah, I think having the mutant on display as well, that works great. Like when it's on the comms talking to the Ninth Doctor, there's something brilliant about that, getting them to have proper eye contact. And yeah, it's shot very well. I think it works much better than what we had in Asylum with the Prime Minister of the Daleks, where that was just this awkward glass. I didn't even bother to put that one on here, to be honest. I just thought that's not really a Dalek design. That is just a mutant in a tube. Like that doesn't deserve to be put on.
Sums it up. Yeah.
And so, yeah, I'd say either amazing or supreme being.
I think because it's the god of all Daleks, it's got to be supreme beings.
Yeah, there he goes.
Then we have the Emperor's Imperial Guard. I think these Daleks have been named as.
Yeah,
I I really like these because they're much more a darker bronze. They're almost like I think like a chocolate bronze, and that really works with the black dome. So I think that this really looks very heavily armored Dalek with the gun as
I
well.
think they're all CGI, weren't they, in the story? Because they were just there to float alongside him. So, yeah, I like that throwback to the Evil of the Daleks, where the guards have the black domes, and so it's nice that they've carried that bit continuity through to here.
I want to say amazing, personally.
I'd let it be amazing.
There we go. We're in agreement.
Yeah.
Dalek Sec. We haven't got the hybrid on here.
No. I mean, it's not really a Dalek design.
Yeah, true. Yeah, true. I like it. I think that it stands out. That little variation of it just being all black. It's very striking. Very different. I really like it. It just stands out amongst the gold Daleks, and it just shows the importance and hierarchy instead of just having a different name tag. What Dalek, Khan, Jast, and Faye had.
Yeah, I think the all black very much makes it stand out that much more and proves that the design works not just for the color but for the design itself, and that you can have these different color schemes later on for the regular drones, and that will still work. So I would give it Supreme Being.
Yeah, I'm in agreement. I mean, for me, I don't want my Daleks looking pretty. I want them to look like tanks, and but they can do battle, and not to go, hey, look at me, I look fancy. Speaking of looking fancy, we have the Supreme Dalek. I love this. I love the red and gold. It has the nice grandeur of the extra sort of slats on there. It has an extra,
bit of extra
dome
height as well. Oh yeah, it is. Yeah.
It just has that thing. What you said, you like your Supreme to look different, and this is definitely a great addition to the Bronze Dalek, isn't it? It's a nice little shake up of it.
It's the planet version, isn't it, of the new series? It's sort of like that equivalent. So I would say Supreme Being.
Yeah, I'm in agreement with this.
Ironsides.
For me,
they're in a funny grey area. I wasn't sure whether to put them here or drones, because they are very much the drones in the story, but they're having to adapt to a special purpose, aren't they? So I thought, since it's more of like a special costume and stuff, and just for a one-off, I let it be the special design.
Right. For me, this is a quintessential Dalek.
Ooh.
It's British. It's got tea. It lives up to the Dalek tank. It looks like a war machine, doesn't it? It is a proper Ironside, isn't it? I think that it's such a shame that it's a one-off, and I think because it's the khaki color scheme, it makes the bronze design just look so much more refreshing. And I love the little addition of like the Union Jack underneath the eye stalk. I really like it. I think that it looks like a product of the 1940s, that sort of industrial look to it.
I love the little covers on the dome lights as well. That was a nice touch.
for the blackout, and you can. There's just
the
something.
Pouches.
And I can easily imagine this Dalek coming across like the waters of like Dunkirk and coming onto the beaches of Dunkirk with like those bands. You can just see those Daleks just wading through the sea onto like the battlefield. So I think that for me, it's just a real great little idea. And I'm a huge fan of the Ironsides. I'm a big advocate of them. And I'm just a huge Victory of the Daleks fan, so maybe that's my bias.
I think they have, don't they have the Union Jack underneath the eye stalk?
Yeah, they do. They do.
Yeah. Did you ever get that Dalek that was a whole Union Jack, like starting from the middle?
I do. It's over here.
Is it? Ah, there he is.
There. His eye stalk's come off. I've got to put it back on, but I'll do that. But there he is.
Yeah. Sorry, you just reminded me of that, and that's such a bizarre British thing. But
right. I
feel you wanting to go? I'd want to go amazing, but I feel like you very much want to go Supreme Being.
Yeah, because it's like the Death to the they're the new series Death to the Daleks for me. I think they're Supreme Beings for me.
I'll let you have that one.
I think they're great. Paradigm Daleks. I think we've said all we can about the Paradigm Daleks, really, haven't we?
Yeah, and I think It's weird. I included the Supreme twice, but I'm not sure how much more metallic he looks. But I think he does have more metallic sheen, but it's not as noticeable.
I don't think they've metalliced him up a bit. Actually. I don't know.
I think they did, but certainly they did on some of the toys. You know, maybe I've just included the same one twice there, but
yeah.
I mean, do you have? Yeah.
Oh, go on. What do you
have a particular favorite? Is there anyone that you'd want to like put up higher, or would you put these all on the same level?
See, my dad would say the scientist is the baked bean Dalek because it looks like a baked bean.
Oh, yeah.
And there was something quite nice about the scientist Dalek because I think I got it in Wolverhampton, and obviously wolves are orange and black, and that's basically orange and black. So I always think of that. But
it's funny how the Eternal is the only one with different color hemispheres.
Yeah.
With the black.
The Eternal is a big enigma, isn't it? You don't know what that Dalek is, so I think I like the mystery of the Eternal, of what that Dalek does. Where would you put the Paradigm? I think
on this list I'm leaning more towards good. At least with the Victory 4.
Okay, so the Victory 4 are all in good. I will say though, the Paradigms make such good toys. The Eternal is a one what I always loved as a kid.
Would you put the Alerts any higher, or?
I like the Metallic Strategist.
Yeah, I'd put that in amazing. I'd say maybe keep him in good.
Keep him in good, rightio. Then we have our boy Rusty.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, this is gonna be interesting.
Because he was kind of battle damage.
Yeah.
But at the same, he's got all these different modifications and stuff, and he's his own character. So I thought he deserved a place on the Specials and Supremes list.
Yeah, I like that. I think one of the hemispheres, he's got like this weird, almost like a mine on it, that sort of detonator thing on it. I like that. Yeah, I really like this sort of damage look. It's like a clinically insane Dalek. It's like a Dalek what should belong in the asylum of the Daleks, really.
And I mean, he is going around killing other Daleks, so that's probably where they shove him. If they caught up with him and didn't kill him.
Yeah, I really like Rusty. I think he's a good, that sort of, like you say, but he's a bit more of a battered, worn out look. I really like. And I think the way he's shot into the Dalek when we first see him in that sort of blue sort of room, he just looks wonderful, almost like he looks like a blue Dalek in a way. And it made, I remember speculating at the time that he was like the time controller.
I'd go amazing.
Yeah. I was thinking good, but yeah, I'll compromise with amazing.
You were expecting me to go much lower, weren't you?
Yeah, I was expecting like acceptable, to be honest.
I mean, you'll get that with our next one.
Okay, the Scrapyard Dalek.
Yeah.
I think it makes a good toy. I'll say that. Yeah. I like the toy of it.
Yeah, I think it's that thing of, I understand what they're going for. I think it worked well enough, but it's nothing amazing compared to the others. And also, we've got such a top-heavy list. We've sort of we need to put something down there. And for me, it's probably my least favorite of this lot. The proportions just look weird.
It's Chibnall's way of going, if you built a really shite Dalek, this is me saying it's canon. It's basically him honouring the worst fan-built Daleks you see on eBay. For me, I think it's such a weird Dalek, but makes for such a great toy. I have a weird love-hate relationship with it, to be honest. I like the claw.
Yeah. Oh, that is a nice touch.
But yeah, I'm not too keen on it, as in the story, but toy-wise, I like the whole idea of having missiles in the hemispheres. Take it or leave it for me personally.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is the Supreme Oddity tier list. So there we go.
Yeah, and we did accidentally leave out the Glass Dalek because I foolishly forgot that one. So If we had that here, I'd say good.
I would say amazing, or like is it anti-light wave reflectant Dalek? I think that would be.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, we've technically got that.
Yeah,
it's invisible, so we can say we put it on there
already. You can't see it.
Yeah,
you just can't see it yet. So there it is. That is our Dalek tier list. Maybe we'll do a Big Finish one.
I think we'll get around to. Yeah, I sort of feel hypocritical now because I said about not including those, but I also said we'll save the Cyberman design for when Big Finish properly unveil the Ninth Doctor Cyberman.
Yeah, that is true. There we go. So let's go.
There's not too many expanded media Cybermen anyway, are there?
No,
in comparison
not really.
to Daleks, at least. I feel like when Cybermen get redesigned, they fully get redesigned, or they stay the same. When Daleks get redesigned, they get slight modifications most of the time. Like the Dalek look has stayed. If you look at the silhouette from, well, just look at the silhouette in general for the drones and stuff. It's only changed 3 times, really. You've got the classic, you've got the bronze, and then you've got the paradigm. Whereas Cybermen, that's changing constantly.
Yeah, that is true. Right, so let's get back to the old chat, what they've been saying while we've been away.
Yeah.
Trying to find out where we are.
Yeah, not too much has happened, to be fair.
Okay, so that's all right.
Yeah, I've found hot take number 6, so we got past that.
Yeah, so while we do that and find ourselves in the chat, please do. If you've got any questions, we'll happily answer
them. Is there a story that follows up the cliffhanger to Resurrection, as in the Supreme mentions he still has Dalek duplicates in positions of power across the world? I think that wasn't what Christopher H. Bidmead's story was about, was it?
No, because I think Christopher left then, isn't it? So it was Eric Saywood took over them.
But that was a 5th Doctor Dalek story, so I wasn't sure of that. Oh no, that was with Nyssa anyway. So that'd be cool.
But yeah, I don't think they've done anything with that.
I mean, I think in the story itself, they say they'll just revert to their normal nature, don't they? And I mean, in one sense, Attack of the Cybermen is the sequel to that, because you get Lytton carried on as a Dalek duplicate. Keith has already explained. The Doctor basically just says they all break down, though you could say that the policemen in Attack of the Cybermen are duplicates that are loyal to Lytton. Yeah.
That makes sense then.
I mean, I think the way he says, like, not even just break down in the sense that they'll go off completely, but just that they'll revert to their previous nature like Stein did.
Oh.
Oh, we're getting more Dalek hot takes here.
Oh, this is great. This is wonderful. But before we do Dalek hot takes, off topic, but why have none of the recent animations gotten Jamie's likeness? Macrotear animation is great overall, but it doesn't look like Fraser Hines. Same with Faceless Ones, Fury, and Evil. Yeah.
I wonder how they'll do with the Web of Fear, because we haven't seen him yet.
Oh no.
He'll probably have his knees cropping through his kilt.
Well, it'll probably look like a question. It probably look very questionable then.
Oh dear.
Also, the Gold Dalek from Day isn't meant to be Supreme, but again, I think some people call it Dalek Chief or whatever.
The
Planet
Supreme. I swear they call him the Supreme in Frontier, though.
Yeah, it rings a bell. It does ring a bell.
Yeah. And again, you have that whole thing of what's the difference between Dalek Supreme and the Supreme Dalek? Are they interchangeable or?
Right. Do you want to do Dalek hot take number 9?
Yes.
Go on.
Dalek Sec is one of the best Dalek designs. He's way better than the Gold Day Supreme. Well,
we rated him fairly.
Yeah.
We've argued our case for both of them.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Fair, you are entitled to your opinion, though.
We do respect opinions here.
Yeah. Just
Ben
about.
And Luke.
It's fine.
Ben and Luke, have you heard about the Dalek Prime If so, what are your thoughts? Personally, I love the idea and it makes the Dalek Emperor death and power of is it what power?
Parting of the Ways.
Parting of the Ways. Sorry, I had a brain fart then.
Oh,
terrible. Good. Lack of sleep here. Even more impactful. I'm trying to. The only Dalek Prime I remember is it Garden of Death? Do you remember Dalek Prime?
I vaguely recall something. Is it in the one of the novels, that 10th Doctor Prison of the Daleks novel, maybe?
Was it the not the Eternity Circle Daleks from Engines of War? I don't know. You'll have to tell us about the Dalek Prime because it rings a bell.
Yeah. I'm just TARDIS wikiing it now.
That has the answers.
Dalek Prime was the first Dalek calculating. He became the first and longest lasting Dalek Emperor. So it seems the idea is that he is the Emperor that we saw in. It looks like both Evil and then later on with. If I scroll down far enough, is it meant to be the? Yeah, so basically the Dalek Prime seems to be that the same Dalek Emperor we see throughout the classic series up until the Parting of the Ways is the same Dalek Emperor.
And we know the origin story for the Dalek Emperor.
Yeah, that was also... Yeah, I saw that on the wiki as well. Apparently he's meant to be the first Dalek ever birthed, so...
Who knows?
Yeah. I mean, it's not something I'm overjoyed about, but it's something I can accept, I guess.
It's like Return to Scarover, like the last surviving Dalek from the dead planet became the Supreme Dalek.
Yeah.
The Black Dalek.
Yeah, or like he was down the whole time. But yeah, that was a different type of Supreme as well, because he was like in the tank for some of it, wasn't he?
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah.
That's good.
Nice one.
What do you think of the Dalek leaders in Parting of the Ways, Black Dome and Skirt? I think they need to bring it back just to add hierarchy. Yeah, I'm in agreement.
Yeah, we need a bit more hierarchy. Bloody communist Daleks.
They don't share killing people. People seem to be mixed on the Pertwee Dalek stories, but to me, they did it so much better to build up a world of Daleks and their hierarchy, especially after Evil of the Daleks. Well, you're speaking to a massive Pertwee fan, so I have no slander on Pertwee stories.
No, I like the Pertwee Dalek stories as well. They're all crackers.
I mean, Day of the Daleks is basically Terminator, and Planet of the Daleks is Terry Nation's greatest hits, and Death of the Daleks is a nice bit of fun. I think if you go in with that story just thinking, oh, it's a little bit of fun, then you'll have a good time.
Yeah. That's how Nicholas Briggs enjoys it.
I mean, he's the number one fan.
Yeah, apparently. Are you going to compete with him for that title, or are you graciously going to let him keep it?
He can have it. I'll have the Daleks out of it because I do like it. That way leads to death.
Which one's your favourite of the three, then?
I think Planet, maybe.
Oh, same.
I do love me some Planet of the Daleks.
Yeah. I think for me it's a special one because Frontier in Space was definitely the first Pertwee I watched. Had it on the VHS. It might be the first classic Who story I ever watched. It was either that or Invasion of Earth. I cannot remember which. But certainly like that build up and then that cliffhanger and not having that resolved for so long until the Dalek War box set finally came out, it led to Planet of the Daleks, along with Frontier, having a special place in my heart.
I think for me, the Pertwee Dalek stories I have such a fascination for because I remember getting like the Genesis for Daleks DVD and watching Dalek tapes and it going through all of the Dalek stories from the classic series. And for me, because the Pertwee Dalek stories were very late coming to the DVD line, they were very late on. So it made it even more magical that we don't have these stories yet in the DVD line. Granted, I watched Day of the Daleks on YouTube. That's copyright on YouTube, being a different world.
I did the same with Death back in the day.
So, yeah, the Pertwee Daleks, I just have that mindset of going, wow, I'm experiencing these. So it kind of takes me back to that wonder of finally experiencing them.
Yeah, I think that's with Planet, that's very much the case of that wonder, really. Yeah, there's something special about those, how late they came on DVD. How late a lot of the Pertwee era came on DVD, actually.
Yeah, it was about 2011, really, wasn't it? 2011 was like a good year for Pertwee DVDs because you got Planet of Spiders, the Mannequin Mania box set, Colony in Space as well. So yeah, you had quite Dev the Daleks.
Yeah, and then 2021, 10 years later, is a great year for Pertwee fans on Big Finish.
There we go.
Yeah. What will 2031 have in store?
We'll probably have like immersive Pertwee stories. VR.
Oh, God.
Oh, that'd be great. Get to pass the test tube to the doctor.
Tell him how brilliant he is.
Yeah, I'd do that. That's me every day.
Yeah, pretty much.
Hopefully, Big Finish explores the Eternal one day. Maybe when Smith joins, or the 11th Doctor Chronicles, if they make it. I would like to see that. Maybe like a paradigm universe for Matt Smith.
Yeah. There's definitely... Oh, sorry, yawning. There's definitely much more to explore. That. Just a bit of a yawn.
Yeah. Favorite David Bradley First Doctor historical story?
I'm struggling on the name. The very first box set.
Oh, Great White Hurricane.
Yeah, that's got to be it for me. Although there's been quite a few good ones with Bradley. The recent Hollow Crown was amazing. Also love Samurai and the Barbarians, or Barbarians and the Samurai, whichever way around it is. That is a lot of fun. But yeah, for me, Great White Hurricane tops the list. What about you?
I'd say Last of the Romanovs because it's such a powerful human drama.
The only one I'm not a big fan of is the Phoenicians, but the other four are brilliant, and I can't wait for more.
Ben and Luke, go back to the chat. My hot take that you say 6 was meant to be say 8. You've missed several questions. All right, we'll have a look. Hot take.
Sorry, stylish one.
The Day Supreme is the weakest Dark Extreme, but right, nowhere near Planet. Right, so we missed a few, have we?
I think we did read that one.
We've read that one. So it's a little bit further back.
Yeah, I just sort of skipped the whole numbering bit when I read it.
Right. The Dalek hot take. We did the Paradigm one, didn't we? We Silent Paradigm Daleks are great, but they're not amazing, in my opinion. We have to see them return. I think we did that. Yeah, we did that one. Dalek strategist. Dalek time strategist uses cross to transfix its opponents. Another hot take: the Emperor Dalek is the best Dalek design, better than any other Dalek design. It's flawless, and I wish it had returned. Also, where's the gold Dalek Emperor? Oh yes, the TV21 Emperor.
Oh yeah, big ball boy.
That's a question because somebody asked, "What's your opinion on the TV21?" I don't really like it personally. Sorry.
I think it's one of those things that works in comics, but I don't think it translates too well anywhere else.
I like it in the animated Dalek series from the Time Lord Victorious stuff. I think that's the best one of it, personally.
Well, it's just one of those funny little things, isn't it, really? It's like a curiosity looking back at how differently the Daleks were seen back in the 60s in those comics. I would love for them to take the RTD Daleks and repaint them in a Death to the Daleks color scheme with smaller headlights and white eye light instead of blue. Like we say, just any shift on that design would be great, and that'd be a nice one to go down.
Yeah, I'd love that. If you do a Cyberman tier list, please include the Cybermen from the 8th Doctor DWM comic The Flood. Yeah, that's an interesting Cyberman design.
That's much more sleeker, isn't it, in a way?
Very sleek. Communist Daleks are already a thing thanks to Brotherhood of the Daleks. I haven't listened to that one. I've heard mixed things about that story.
6th Doctor and Charlie, isn't it?
Yeah, and I like, because it's got the mutations of time Supreme Dalek on there with that red and blue design, which I do like.
Oh,
yeah. Thoughts on the Planet of the Daleks Blu-ray new CGI effects? They seem to get a mixed response from fans.
I quite like a lot of them. I'm not as big a fan of the ship coming down at the end, but all the other little touches are so subtle and nice that I think it balances out and works out fine. It's the version I go for now, to be honest.
Okay.
I love like the touch up of the Dalek point of view in the in the prison, the cell, when they overpower it. They update it to have the same eye stalk effect as you see in Death to the Daleks, instead of just the circle and then the black surrounding it that it was originally. So that's a nice touch. And yeah, like for the most part, it's just little things like when they're being watched by the animals of the forest while they're at the Plane of Stones, they just make them blink and sort of move a little bit just to give them so much more life to them rather than just being these lights off in the distance that obviously aren't eyes. I think they work very well there. And then the CGI Daleks all in the caves and stuff works a lot better than the toy Daleks of before. And there's the great shot at the end when it's all covered in the ice. The ice eruption, less so impressive. Like, that's difficult to do in CGI. But for me, I think there's certainly some drawbacks, but I love it overall.
Doesn't it CGI the Supreme and makes it the dome lights and eye flash and sync?
No, they didn't sort that out. That's the last thing, sadly.
No, I swear they did like a CGI render of the Supreme Dalek. I
think that might have just been for when it exits the ship.
Maybe.
But yeah, it does look a bit funny there, but yeah. So that's the shot that's pretty much all CGI, like the ship and the background and everything. That's the one that looks the most dodgy.
Yeah, I wasn't too keen on that little bit, but yeah, I definitely like the animal section.
Yeah, I think
with the
these CGI touch-ups work best when they're just little moments being slightly edited. Like a lot of things in Castroval, you don't even notice it's new CGI.
What would you say your favorite updated CGI is?
Castrovalva, to be like we just mentioned. I think that one works so well. Logopolis isn't a good one.
I quite like Terror of the Autons, the way it expanded on like the Nestine.
Yeah,
that was a nice little touch up.
Yeah, all the CSO fixes there, that all works very well, and how they fix like the motion panning so that actually looks realistically like it's a background. That's all brilliant stuff. I forgot about that one.
And of course, it makes the kitchen look more like a kitchen.
That's true. And the doll as well. The doll works very well in CGI.
Oh, it's horrible. It's horrible, but I like it. I want some more Red Daleks in the main show. We've had so few. I always like the idea of a Red Dalek being a commander and being a leader. I don't know. I think it was said in one of the Dalek annuals that Daleks are colorblind. They can't see the color red.
Oh.
But there we go. So God knows why the Stolen Earth Supreme Dalek was red. Because obviously the Daleks must just hear a random voice going, "Is that Blake giving us orders?"
I mean, I suppose that's why he's got those other little additions, hasn't he?
Yeah, maybe just like, please notice me.
But yeah, certainly, like, it's funny with the what's new series Daleks, because you see from their point of view, you see that they see everything as blue.
Yeah.
Except when they look on you with their own eye.
What's a color that the Daleks have never really been, but you would love to see?
I don't know.
Have we had a green Dalek?
Ironside, closest.
No, closest thing. Yeah. I mean, I would say like a purple Dalek.
Dalek,
but you had
strategist. But...
yeah, you had that in a comic as well. I'm trying to think now.
Maybe like a more gunmetal silver.
Maybe.
I think they've burned through most of the colours, really, haven't they?
We've gone through them all, really. Practically.
Yeah, I mean, pink.
Yeah, we could do part of the Happiness Patrol.
Yeah, there we go.
There we go. That's that answered. Yeah, I'm sure we'll have a brainwave going. That would be great.
There.
Worst updated CGI effect from either the DVD or the Blu-ray. I personally said the Invisible Enemy, the new laser effects are great. The new CGI spaceship looks way worse than the model.
Yeah, I'm not sure that's my least favorite, but I definitely agree that the CGI update looks weird given how solid the models were.
I think my favorite special edition's got to be Day of the Daleks. But in terms of worst, I'm trying to think in terms of the worst.
I think there's a lot of them you forget they even did because they've done a fair few.
Yeah, I'm trying to think from the Blu-rays actually. I haven't seen Revenge of the Cybermen one yet. That's one I've not.
That's a good one.
I've not ventured into that one yet.
Yeah. I think one of my favorite parts of that is how when the spaceship explodes at the end of Cyberman spaceship, they know that they cannot do explosions in CGI well. So they cut it at just the right moment to the original explosion, but it's so seamless, it works very well. I love that moment.
I'd probably say Talons maybe is my least favorite because of the rat.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of the Talons update. But it's again one of those ones that doesn't feel like it needs it. Even if the rat looks a bit dodgy in the sewers, it's so fleeting and it's so dimly lit that it doesn't bother me. But I'm not that bothered that they did it because you can just still go back and watch the original. And that is one of the ones where when I go back to rewatch, I stick with the original one and the special effects.
I'm gonna have a little Google of the special effects because I'm curious now just to see.
Yeah, there's definitely been a few.
Earthshock had some little tweaks, didn't it? I remember.
Yeah, I still haven't. That's one of the ones I haven't checked out.
I think the only 60s one what's had updated special effects is Dalek Invasion of Earth.
Yeah, that's got the new sources. I'm not sure if it's got anything more than that though. That's one I've never watched either, despite the amount of times I watched that story.
I'm trying to think. Special effects on Doctor Who. Let's have a Google. Yeah, of course. There's a TARDIS wiki. Enlightenment. Oh, I'd say Planet of Fire.
Oh, yeah, that's a bit, but that's an over the top one, isn't it? From what I've seen.
I think Kinder works fine. I like the updated snake.
Yeah, that's only just the one snake, isn't it?
They
don't touch anything else. That's just for episode 4. That works.
Enlightenment's great. Battlefield's great. Ark in Space, that's only minor, really, with the Nova Beacon.
Yeah, that's a very minor one. Invasion. That's one you don't need, but it's nothing bad, I guess.
Oh, yeah, I forgot the whole Black Guardian trilogy had new special effects.
Oh, yeah. We're getting that all on Blu-ray soon, hopefully. We still haven't had an announcement of the next one.
We'll probably get it next week now. They've probably just looked on the chat and going, we'll announce it.
Yeah, there we
go. But yeah, I'd say Invasion of Time, that becomes more redeemed. Right, here we go. This is going to be interesting. Ben, why do you not like Rufus Hound's Monk? I love him personally and sometimes get stories just for him. What are your thoughts on him, Luke? I don't like Rufus Hound's Monk because I think that he's just great. You know, when there's just these annoying people in life, what great on he's that. He's just. I think the problem with Rufus Hound is he's trying to be silly. And with comedy, if you're going to succeed with comedy, you have to play it straight because anybody can be silly and over the top. And I think that's what makes it annoying. He doesn't find the true comedic balance of the monk. So I think that he just misses over the mark, really. And I much prefer Graham Garden's Monk. For me, it just annoys me, and it just lessens my enjoyment of the story if he's in there, sadly. And yeah, Rise of the Humans, he was a Poundland master. Even the third Doctor said, he was like, oh, it's all the hallmarks of the master. Yeah,
I agree with you.
Do you?
No, Stylish Monk. I agree
Oh.
with Stylish One. I was before you.
I'm leaving now. Stylish One can take my place.
I wouldn't quite say. I wouldn't go as far as getting stories just him though. But I think I buy so much Big Finish anyway. It's hard to tell. But I'm probably not going to be getting Missy Series 3. Just like, even though he's in it. So there we go. But yeah, I enjoy him. I prefer him to the Meddling Nun, actually, to be honest. But maybe with more time, I'd prefer her. But at the moment, yeah, I do prefer Rufus Hound's portrayal.
I prefer the Meddling Nun because she's in Game of Thrones.
Rufus Hound, get yourself on Game of Thrones prequel and then I like you. To me, it's I feel like the Meddling Nun almost feels like she's not playing it as straight as maybe it needs to be. Like that one feels even more ridiculous and sent up than Rufus Hound's Monk does.
I think for me, because we've only had a little bit of Gemma Whelan, I can't really properly judge her compared to Rufus Hound,
especially when she's pretending to be the Doctor for half of it.
Yeah, so you can't go, all right, okay. You know, I feel like we've had the Black Hole, Rise of the Humans, Short Trips. You know, I think I can make a firm judgment on Rufus Hound.
Yeah, that's fair.
What do you think of the time controller with the extended neck bin? Also, thoughts on the stained glass Dalek from Order of the Daleks. Oh, Stanley. I love Stanley. That was a good story as well.
Good one.
Good story. Good story as well.
It's a lovely thing to have on there.
Dark Time Controller I like because I think it was like the first time Big Finish did like a proper new redesign, really, wasn't it? Because they did do like 60s 70s Daleks with like the 60s Ice Stalking, like the Fourth Doctor Adventures.
Oh yeah, that was a weird one, wasn't it?
That was a weird phase where they're in denial.
They're also very overly CGI'd, those Daleks.
That's true.
And Dark Eyes as well. Yeah.
Favorite Doctor Who story and favorite comedy Doctor Who story and favorite comedy show overall. I'm guessing it'll be Last of a Summer Wine for Ben. Favorite Doctor Who comedy story.
I still have your Last of the Summer Wine compilation pop up in my recommended sometimes from 8 years ago now.
That's my most viewed video, and despite me being a Doctor Who YouTube channel, so I'm a fake Who fan. Favorite comedy Doctor Who story.
I mean, if we're just going TV, I'd probably say City of Death. Although Romans is another fun one.
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking anything by James Gosh is a good, funny one.
I forget Big Finish. There's a lot of good ones there.
Trouble with Drax. That's a good,
love that.
funny one. Yeah,
I mean, it's not quite Doctor Who, but Jago and Lightfoot and Strax.
I was just thinking that
one of the funniest I've listened to.
See, that's the thing. Like stories have like funny moments, but they aren't necessarily a comedy.
Yeah, but I'd say I wouldn't quite say Jago and Lightfoot and Strax is a full-on comedy, but it's certainly the closest Jago and Lightfoot ever got to it. And Jago and Lightfoot is often funny anyway, just because of the nature of the characters.
That is true.
It's carrying on from Talons of Winter, and that has a lot of laughs in it, but it's not a comedy.
Oh, expiry dating's got some nice fun things. I like that. I don't know. I don't know about comedy in terms of TV Doctor Who.
Yeah.
Romans is one what springs to mind because it's like Carry On. Carry On the Romans.
Yeah. As for comedy show overall, I do like my old throwbacks like Dad's Army and Only Fools and Horses.
Yeah, they're good shouts. I like Bottom with Rick Mayall and Aid Edmondson. They're quite cool. Blackadder. I like Blackadder.
Oh yeah, that's always good as well.
Yeah, Blackadder. Yeah. So Last of a Summer Wine's good. I mean, it was the longest running comedy show, so I think that's testament to it, really. Yes. So, what else have we got in the old chat? Must be another collection box set coming soon. Hopefully.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
I thought there would have been one just before season 24's release.
I suppose it's more focused on the animations at the moment, isn't it? With 2 out the next 2 months. So
I'm sure we could get one before the end of the year.
Yeah, I think November would be my bet.
That'll be good for season 20.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
I honestly forgot Web of Fear was released this month. So did I, and then I realized
10 days. Yeah,
finally. Until we get that cursed animation. I can't wait to do the animation tier list.
Speaking of tier lists, Stylish Ones asked for Dr. Venture's tier list after Volume 8 releases. I think, yes, that is the plan, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
We got these tier lists planned all the way through to October.
Well, we've got one planned for December, January, like all of the releases from 2021.
Yeah.
So we're definitely going to continue these tier lists. We've got quite a few for August as well.
Yeah. I've already made the early adventures tier list, actually. That's all up and ready to go for when we finish the After the Daleks and Secrets of Death's End Monastery.
Yeah, because we've got Philip Hinchcliffe as well, and War Master's another option. So we can definitely keep doing these for weeks on end.
Yeah,
and maybe one week we can go back to doing like a classic review, maybe, and break it up. Maybe, don't know. We have no real plan. We just go. Do you fancy doing this week? Yeah, sure, we'll do that.
Yeah, and we're sticking to a weekly schedule at the moment, aren't we?
Yeah, hopefully we can continue to do it weekly.
Summer of Big Finish fans, but this isn't a Big Finish fans, is it?
We've practically done a month of Big Finish fans, so yeah.
Summer of Doctor Who live streams.
Yeah, why not?
With Ben and Luke.
I enjoy doing them. I don't know if you enjoy doing them, but yeah.
Oh no, I'm hating every moment of it.
Please leave then.
Let you live stream on your own, and you can put your iron sides where you want them.
Do you know what? That's a good idea.
Yeah.
I don't have any arguing then. Life's simple. It's my own fighting in my own head. But yeah, it's a joy doing these live streams.
You can have your hating on Rufus Hound live stream, and I won't stop you.
Yeah, I will. That's next week's live stream. Stay tuned for that.
Yeah, my final appearance on the Pertwee Smith 11 channel. You're witnessing history, guys.
You're watching the falling out of it. You're watching the divorce live.
This is like when the Beatles broke up.
It's going to be in YouTube history. It's going to have its own TARDIS wiki article.
Oh, God. Take that, Prime Dalek.
Yeah, man. I practically invested in the whole Doom Coalition saga for 3 reasons. 1, the 8th Doctor. That was a good
Fair
reason.
enough.
2, I've heard good things.
Not from us, but...
Not from us.
Only Doom Coalition 2. We love most of 1 and all of 3 and 4, I'd say.
That's fair. And 3, so that I can hear the Side of Angels of Rufus Hound. I forgot he was in that.
That's another good one. I like that.
Maybe. Fun fact: the TV21 Emperor was going to be on the cover of the Mutant Phase. Yeah, by Clayton Hickman. Yeah, because I think the Wheel in Space concept side member going to be on Sword of Orion.
Yeah. It's funny how they were like experimenting much more with possibilities then, weren't they?
Yeah, which is pretty cool. I like that. Use weird variants.
I mean, even now we're still getting the occasional weird variant.
That is true.
Like I didn't expect to see the Resurrection Supreme again.
No, he's not on the Davison release, is he? With the Daleks, that would have been quite cool if he was on there. That would have been like the renaissance of the Resurrection.
It's funny though, because the other 2 Daleks on the Dalek Defense are the Eulogenesis they're actually the Day/Planet variants. Funnily enough.
Okay.
Yeah, they've got the blue rings and the black gun.
I'll have to have a look at that once we finish this.
How funny.
I remember being surprised that the Dalek time controller was in Patient Zero. Nice surprise for me in a really Big Finish release. Yeah, it was, I believe, his first appearance. And I mean, I kind of had that surprise moment when I read the Matt Smith book, The Dalek Generation. The time controllers in that, which is pretty nice.
By Nicholas Briggs, isn't it?
So yeah,
nice to get his own creations about.
With a new series.
Was that even his idea, or was that someone else like saying, "Why don't you put that in there, Nick?"
I think it was probably Nick going, "I'm going to put the time," because it was around the time of Dark Eyes had just been released. So yeah, that book came out 2013. So I guess it was to link in with those. I guess maybe make a bit of a selling point, even though the time controller is not on the cover.
So yeah, I guess word of mouth would get around, wouldn't
it? Where else are we? It's weird. On my physical copy of Plague of the Daleks, the Resurrection Daleks have the white eye, but on the digital has the pupil.
Oh, that's strange, isn't it? There are sometimes there's variations, but never usually like that.
I mean, my Plague of the Daleks is in another room, so I can't say what mine is. But yeah, I think on the app it's a standard 60s Dalek, isn't it? Or I don't know. I'm gonna have a look because I put it down.
The pupil on the website, certainly. I prefer the pupil look for that story. I can't imagine. I've never heard about it having the 60s eyes. That just sounds a bit weird.
I mean, I'm just gonna have a quick little look on the app now. Purchase.
Most overrated Doctor Who story, both TV and Big Finish. Personally, I'd say for TV, The Invasion. No,
that's my favorite Finish.
I love that one. And for Big Finish, Fourth Doctor Adventures, Series 8, Volume 1, which was a disappointment for me. Sinestron Kill, yeah, the rest of the set I do really like.
I think Enchantress of Numbers is great. Oh no, it's got the pupils. Yeah, it's got the pupils. Just checked. Yeah, Enchantress Numbers is good. Planet of Adrashig I have a soft spot for. But most disappointing TV story. This is a difficult one. Because I normally, when I got the DVDs, I didn't really research them. So I can't say that I had any like fan wisdom behind me.
I'd say maybe Leisure Hive for me recently. Because I say recently, like how long ago was the season 18 Blu-ray now? But yeah, like that was the only story from that season I hadn't watched before, and so getting that, I'd heard good things about that, but really just didn't do it for me.
I'm really stumped on this. Maybe Seeds of Death. No, The Mind Robber. I'm not a fan of The Mind Robber.
I wasn't a fan of that. Like first time I watched it back when it was on, not even horror. Like this was on Watch when they did that Doctor Who Revisited thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've come around on that a bit more. It's not like the 10 out of 10 loads of people rave about it being, but I don't mind it. I will say it's overrated. So yeah, maybe that could count.
In terms of Big Finish, I would say in terms of overrated, maybe Charms of Midnight. I never really saw the hype for it. I don't know if that's a hot take.
I love Charms of Midnight.
I like it, but yeah,
it is overrated. It's not the pinnacle of Doctor Who storytelling that some people make it out to be.
I think there are better Big Finish than Chimes, personally.
Even better Christmas Safe Doctor stories.
Yeah, we all know that. Better watch out. We're definitely going to be watching out now.
Fairy Tale of Salzburg, brilliant two-parter.
Did you know Nick Park originally wanted Gromit to talk in the first Wallace and Gromit? He even recorded dialogue with Peter Hawkins, of all people. I did not know that.
Oh, wow. That's a crazy one. I suppose it's a bit similar to Chewbacca, isn't it? Because there's like takes there where you hear Peter Mayhew in the costume talking, but they decide, no, that's too weird. Just have him growl.
Would you include the Foe from the Future in the Philip Hinchcliffe Presents tier list, as it was originally a Hinchcliffe story? I'd say so, just to fill it out a bit more, because it's
I've only got 5 otherwise. So
it'd be quite a short tier list anyway.
I like this next suggestion.
You like it, I don't. The Monk BF tier list, perhaps.
Well, I think you get some other stories in there as well, don't you?
Do I?
Yeah, your Graham got. He's not just saying about
okay.
Rufus Hound tier list. He's saying Monk tier list in general. You get some Graham Gardner in there.
I feel like that would be the end of our friendship if we did that. But yeah, I'm open for it. Just to see.
We've got so many other ones to get through, though. So, well, I suppose we could also throw the TV stories in there. Maybe he's only got 2.
Yeah, we could do. Yeah, and we could throw Rosa because people say Kraskos is a meddling monk. What would you like to see from a potential Wilderness Years collection? Some are speculating it will happen due to the movement of many bonus features from a season 26 DVD. They've discovered a few interesting things, haven't they? They've discovered the studio recordings for Keeper of Traken, if that's your thing, and the studio footage of Fort of Doomsday. So maybe that could be included on the Wilderness Years box set.
I suppose it just depends where else they have room, really, doesn't it?
I'm
sure they can fit something like that on a season 20 box set, maybe.
In terms of other features, I'd say things like Doctor Who Night, maybe. Just like quirky commercials featuring Doctor Who stars. I think that'd be quite a nice little thing to have.
I suppose you'd also stick the TV movie on there, wouldn't you?
TV movie, I think that would be a given, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think anything. Maybe Scream of a Schalke. That'd be nice. Get McGann to watch Richard E. Grant. Have like a With Nell and ISO behind the sofa. Have Richard E. Grant and Paul McGann reunite.
That'd be interesting.
That would be lovely.
I think are we winding down a bit now?
Yeah, I think we're nearing the end. We're nearing the end now.
Yeah, I think. Should we say this is the last 2 comments now from the stylish one? Or we got one more from Calderai Mac. Calderai Mac. I hope I'm saying that right. Sorry.
Yeah, we're it's 11:30 now, so I think we're pretty much nearing the end.
If you Google Plague of the Daleks CD, it's the 60s eye stalk. It's really odd. Yeah, that's just a strange one, isn't it?
I feel like going to check my CD now because I'm curious to know what it is on the actual CD.
Yeah, do you think there's maybe 2 different versions?
Maybe there is like a variant.
That's weird because it's so red. The look of it. When you have the eye stalk there, it automatically makes you think it's the 80s versions, and so you sort of fill in those colors with your head. But when you see it without the eye stalk, it doesn't look like the 80s versions with the white pupil. It makes it look like the 70s versions.
I'm gonna grab it because I'm really curious now.
Go for it. Yeah, it certainly looks like it's there on all those. So. Yeah, that is how bizarre. Yeah. Oh, and there's also a cover. There's like an advertisement for the whole trilogy, and that's even got the I think that's the what's it called? Supreme Remembrance Supreme there. I mean, we can't really quite show that, but maybe when Ben gets back, he'll be able to find it. Yeah, like here he comes. No.
Right, here's something quite interesting. No pupil.
There we go.
I don't know if you can
see. Digital version it has the pupil. Physical it doesn't. Yeah, I also found a there's like those advertisements they put in Doctor Who magazine and Vortex.
Yeah.
I found one of those where it doesn't have the pupil, and it's also got a Supreme from Remembrance on there as well.
Oh, that's interesting.
Sure. Yeah, if I send that to you, will you be able to screen share that?
On Facebook, are you sending that on?
If you like right click on that and then just click open image in new tab, so it's like in its own tab maybe.
Okay, I'll do that.
Yeah.
I'll do. Do you want to read one of the messages out while I do that?
Yeah, go for it. Have you watched the Watch channel edits of the 11th Hour and the Big Bang? The edits made the stories incomprehensible. They cut out 11, go back in time to, oh God, that's weird. I suppose that's to fit into the hour slot with the adverts, isn't it? It's bizarre that they've done that. I didn't even know that was a thing, but.
Yeah. Right, I'll leave that. Oh, okay.
Of course, they discover more Doctor Who material after they release the Blu-rays. Yeah, sod's law, isn't it? It's the way it goes.
Well, it's a bit of a tiny image, but.
Oh, sorry.
I'll screen share it now. Screen share.
Stylish one. Finally, I'm honestly a little disappointed the 50th anniversary steelbook did include Doctor Who Live at the after party or Doctor Who Live the Next Doctor. Yeah, that would have been a nice inclusion, wouldn't it? Because there's nowhere else they're going to put them realistically.
Or they could have put the Doctor Who, like the Peter Capaldi reveal on the Series 8 steelbook and the Series 8 deleted scenes.
Yeah, I can go there. Yeah. Big, it's a bit small, but you could see there. I wonder why that's come out so small. Well, yeah,
that works.
Remembrance Supreme, but with the white eye stalk. I used to remember it's Supreme, isn't it? There's no other version it could be. Yeah, I think he's on the Daleks Among Us cover, isn't he, as well?
Yeah, they've got the 60s eye stalk, yeah.
That bizarre.
It's very odd.
Who knows what's going on there?
I think we're all done, aren't we? I think that's all the questions caught up.
Mr. Bonk Cactus has just said, it's kind of funny how there's only one telesnap of a 60s Dalek with a black dot in the eye. I think, isn't that meant to be the Alpha, Omega, and the human Daleks, as it were? But yeah, that's a weird one.
Did they ever officially release the infamous decapitation scene from Robots of Sherwood?
No, that's a whole 5 minutes missing, isn't it?
Hopefully, if they do like a collection box set of Series 8, we get that. And if they do that, we can get the original ending for Into the Dalek. Because Rusty blows up from the leaked version of that. Yeah.
That's weird. Oh, yeah, we had like that whole thing with the scripts leaking, didn't we? Or that whole episodes leaking, actually.
Yeah, the first 5 episodes. And I managed to watch Into the Dalek, Robot of Sherwood, and I think Listen and Time Heist.
Wow.
Before. So, yeah, that was pretty cool.
Boy.
They were on Daily Motion.
Yeah, that's such a bizarre thing to happen, isn't it?
But yeah,
I say it's still happening. We had that Series 11 clip leak.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, that was crazy.
Wow. Yeah, God knows how that all happened. But
yeah, it's weird, isn't it? Weird, absolutely weird.
Weren't they all black and white and like had a watermark over them?
Yeah, it was like Marcel, like the actual person who leaked it. I think it was Marcello, and they're all black and white.
Oh, I suppose that adds something to it in a way.
Yeah, it was like, I mean, Capaldi wanted to be a classic Doctor, so if anything, they kind of suited being in black and white.
Yeah. But yeah, I know I have seen that decapitation scene before because like someone posted that on YouTube. It's like in a low quality version. But yeah, I mean, I can understand why they removed it at the time. I don't understand why they never put it on the Blu-ray at the time because like surely enough time had
gone like a special feature.
Yeah, at least a special feature. Who knows? But yeah, I think it's about time if they do it as a updated steelbook.
Yeah, the steelbook was the perfect opportunity to do that, but they missed the boat. What a Series 11 leak clip! It was basically Jodie falling through the roof, wasn't it?
I think just after that was when she's talking to. Yeah, I think after the creature's gone and you had that discussion with Ryan and Yaz. And I think you have the line about 40 minutes ago. I was a
Whitehead Scotsman.
Yeah.
It Takes You Away. Yeah, we never saw It Takes You Away Monster, did we?
That's another bizarre thing. God, there's so many.
Shame.
It's weird, isn't it? With New Who, it almost seems to have more of these mysteries than Classic Who at this point.
Yeah, especially with Chibnall era, because it's so secretive. It's a bit hard to know, really. And hopefully, when we do get a Chibnall era box set, we can learn more about this era, because I feel like there's a lot to learn about this era.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think we are all done for tonight. Class had a lot of deleted scenes.
Oh, wow.
I don't know. I never finished Class. So I don't even own the DVD.
Me.
I don't even own the DVD, so I can't even say if it had deleted scenes.
From what I saw of I only watched the first episode, but I can see that having a lot of stuff cut out because it felt like the pacing was a bit weird. So yeah.
I mean, if there's more Capaldi out there, then I'm down. I'm down. More 12th Doctor.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah. That is it for tonight then.
Yeah, that's us done. That is our Dalek tier list. Hope that you've enjoyed a little bit of a break from us, from sort of talking about Big Finish, even though we naturally talk about it because that's just us.
Yeah, it's your guys' fault in the chat as well. You bring up the Finish questions, so
we love it all, really.
Blame's not on us, all on us.
But yeah, thank you, Luke, for making the tier list. It's always a pleasure to see what you do.
Thank you for having me on.
Yeah, it's always a pleasure. Luke, the Class Shop scene from episode 1 and 2 was a separate scene combined. Okay.
That's weird.
That's very odd. Stylish One, bye guys. Thanks for a great time. Thank you, Stylish One, for all the questions. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, we always love your input.
Yeah, and we love having the hot takes and seeing if they are hot takes, whether we agree or disagree. It's always a pleasure.
Yeah, so maybe if we do Jacoby next week or whatever's up, then you can give us some hot takes again. Or
we could do two. We could be bold.
Yeah, I suppose maybe save the Ninth Doctor tier list for February when we have the whole.
Yeah, we could do that.
12 episodes to rank then.
Or we could do like what we did with Ravages, basically just do a review of Respond to All Calls.
Yeah, we can. Yeah, we don't have to do a tier list every week.
No, we don't have to do that. That'd be a nice little change, I guess.
Yeah.
Mr. Bonk Cactus, night lads. Good night.
Yeah. Good night, Mr. Bonk Cactus. Yeah, you'll find out whatever's next probably about 3:00 on Friday afternoon when Ben puts up the advertisement for it.
Yeah, we'll have a little chat of what we're doing next. Throw in the Ninth Doctor short trips and Chronicles. I don't think the Chronicles are going to join that list.
No, I don't have any of the short trips either. Gosh.
Yeah, I don't have them either. I mean, I was tempted to get a Jacob Dudman one.
Her own bootstraps, isn't it?
I would like to. Maybe I can pick up that when I do an order because it's only two.
He sounds all right on the trailer for it as well. He does an all right 9, funnily enough.
But we've got the real thing now. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Don't give us a Chronicles box set. I mean, I prefer him to Nick, but
we've got the real thing now.
See, we've been distracted by Big Finish talk. Yeah, there we go.
Very
beautiful.
Nice. Oh, there we go. Eccles boy. Right. Thank you everyone for watching for this Dalek Mania tier list. Hope that you've enjoyed, and we'll see you very soon for more live stream madness. Thank you everyone, and we'll see you very soon.
Goodbye, everyone.